Hello. Welcome back to the Random Show, episode number 108 with your host, Agostino Zinga. This is the Random Show, episode number 108 with your host, Agostino Zinga. And I do apologize profusely to the stream chat for my lateness. This was meant to be way earlier than before, but hey, you know how it is. I bumped into a Chinese shop and here I am. I had an appointment with some salt and pepper hot wings. You know what I mean? All that cardio bloody got me going, got me juicing. I mean, got me hot. But yeah, big up the stream chat. Let me just actually get it up on here before I complete this. Hope you are all well wherever you are. Give me a little wave in the chat if you do see me. It should be coming up now. What's up? I'm alive, I'm well. No craziness is going on. Hope you are well wherever you may be. And again, apologies for the lateness, but like I said, I bumped into a couple salt and pepper hot wings and I couldn't say no. You feel me? I couldn't say no. But I'm here, ready to roll, ready to scroll. Got a bottle full of water here. It's a bit of a funky brand from the local off license. I don't know. It's, you know, it looks like it's really tasty. That's the problem. When you get this sort of water, I'm not sure if you guys are the same, but when you buy this sort of water from the local off license and it's not the regular brands and it tastes really nice, I always automatically think it's been sprinkled with some sugar. There's some sugar in this or something. I feel like it. There's some sort of like, you know, strawberry, some sort of like, I don't know, chocolate chips and stuff, something they put in it to make it so tasty, and it's probably not good for you, but you know, we buy it just because we have no other option. But big up the stream chat, hope you are well wherever you may be. Who we've got here? We've got Austin Casey, big up you. Dark Web Jeb, big up my guy. Tyler Durden, big up. Kesod Moses, of course, big up G. KHALYLA, of course, big up Uche. My G, big up you. Big up Young Old Vibes here. ERIK C, Tyler Durden. Who else is here? Natasha Ski. Big up everybody in the stream chat right now. I can see every single one of you. You are here right now. Yeah, people are saying fentanyl in the water, you know. I'm not too sure, maybe, but it just, I don't know if you guys are the same. It just tastes too good. At the moment it's saying it's got a pH 8.2. It says it's low in sodium, but I don't buy it. You know, I don't buy it, man. I really don't buy it. But yeah, big up the chat. Big up everybody hanging in. Hope you are well. Let's take a quick swig of this before we continue. Bear with me one sec. Man, that's bloody good, man. It's good. It's been a bit funky, I'm not gonna lie. It's been a bit interesting these last couple of weeks. You know, spending my weekends at home has been a bit wild. Number one, as I mentioned previously, I've got way more money in my bank account than I ever had before, just because I've not been going out and getting flipping crazy, as you guys may know. But just in terms of time, it's just interesting, isn't it? Like the amount of time you have in an evening. Because I always feel like whenever I go out, maybe because I leave the house always late and I'm always fucking rushing, but I always feel like I don't have enough time to really party because the clubs close, you know, sometimes at 4, sometimes at 6. By the time you leave the house at 11, you get there for 12. It doesn't feel like you've got enough time to really get into the swing of things. Because I guess I'm so used to, like, you know, I'm a bit spoiled from all my Berlin trips where I get to rave for 24 hours and you legitimately get to kind of ease into it. You can go home, have a nap, shower, eat something and then come back again. But having like 4 hours to rave is like so lame, and I don't want to be leaving the house at 10 p.m. to go to a party. So I always feel like I've never got time. But then when I'm at home not going out, I feel like I got all the time in the world. I feel like I can go out for a run, I can do a stream, I can eat something, I can do so much in that time that I thought I didn't have enough time when I'm usually going out. But I think that's just some like, you know, undercover crackhead vibes for me. Probably I'm just twitching really underneath. That's probably what's actually going on. It probably doesn't make no sense what I'm saying, but I've been realizing this, man. So if you guys are on the fence, if anyone's on the fence out there about giving the old party lifestyle a break for a bit, I do recommend it, because number one, you have way more money in your flipping bank account, and number two, you have way more time to do the things that you actually enjoy doing, whether it's watching TV, browsing social media, reading books like I do, or whatever it is, or podding and streaming. You got way more time to do that stuff, man. So I love it, loving it. Anyway, long story short, we've got a poll up on there in the stream. If you just joined the stream, please make sure you vote in the poll. At the moment, at the last time of checking, we have over 39 votes. And the question that I put up in a poll is, are Brendan Schaub and Chris D'Elia happy for Erik Griffin for getting booked at a comedy Mothership? Apologies for the grammar, because you only put a certain amount of characters in the question. But I'm really curious as to what you guys think, because recently a pod happened with the Golden Hour, whereas basically Erik Griffin tries to explain how great it was to go to the comedy Mothership, but the way that he's trying to explain it, he kind of gives me the impression that he doesn't want his quote-unquote friends to feel bad because they didn't get invited there yet, in Chris D'Elia and Brendan Schaub. Obviously Chris first because Brendan came in late, but I got the impression that Erik Griffin wasn't trying to be too enthusiastic about the comedy Mothership because he didn't want Chris to feel bad, so he kind of had to kind of draw it back in. And then when Brendan came, I feel like Brendan was purposely basically being a dick about it. You know, he was personally being a dick about it and kind of on purpose, like, changed the subject and was kind of a bit weird and didn't really let Erik get in his flow. And again, Erik felt bad also for letting him, for not, you know, for basically being happy about it. So I got the impression, from me personally, just off my back, if you're asking my opinion, I got the impression that I think Chris is happy for Erik as a like a comedian to comedian, because I think Chris does respect Erik Griffin as a comedian and probably doesn't mind him as a person. But I think he's a little bit pissed that he hasn't been invited. Or my other opinion is that every time the comedy Mothership name is mentioned, it's another reminder for Chris D'Elia of like how far his star has fallen and how much and how cancelled he is. Basically, he's got no Hollywood career anymore. It's basically over for him in Hollywood, unless he does some big like sit down interview with somebody and tells it all and bears his soul. I don't ever see him come back into Hollywood. And essentially, he's kind of excommunicated himself from a certain group of LA-based GRE extended universe comedians because of the allegations, because no one wants to stand next to him because they don't want to, you know, co-sign it. So every time he hears a comedy Mothership, for Chris, I think it's a constant reminder of just how cancelled he is. So that probably makes him pissed. So I think that was what was coming through when he was acting weird with Erik Griffin. I don't think he was actually jealous or wasn't happy for him. I think for sure he was happy, but he just, you know, hearing the name was like, fuck, man, I'm never gonna play there because of what happened, and I thought Joe was my friend, blah blah blah, all that sort of stuff comes up. But Brendan, I think, is 100% jealous, 1,000,000%, because Brendan, for the longest time, if you remember, and you guys need to pay attention to this, hopefully you have with your flipping teeth at K-Law, Erik Griffin and Brendan never got on from the beginning, because Erik firstly hated Brendan because he was a jock athlete coming and doing stand-up, and then of course he's not funny. So I think the first time, I think even Erik Griffin speaks about it, the first time he saw Brendan Schaub do stand-up comedy, he didn't like him at all in the slightest. And he thought he was rubbish. Actually, let me try and get it up here. Let me see if I can get it up. There's a video where Erik kind of talks about Brendan and saying basically, oh, I wasn't really a fan of his. And then obviously, you know, once he started appearing on King and the Sting a few times and Brendan started putting money in his pocket, suddenly, guess what? Erik Griffin likes Brendan Schaub as a person once again. You know how these guys are. They don't really have any principles, any morals, anything. So let's see if I can find it. There's a video here, Erik Griffin, Brendan Schaub, because I think this kind of will give you some context of what it basically means. If I can put it up on here, bear with me a second. What did you say? On Brendan Schaub. Let's see. Somebody asked him a question, I think, like, hey, what do you think about Brendan? Let me see if I can find it here. Bear with me a sec. I got it. Look, do you see a screen? Oh no, the screen is none there. Cool. Let me get that screen loaded. Display. Boom. There we go. As you can see it there. Let's put it up on here. See if I can find it. It's where he's talking about Brendan specifically. I can't see it. It's not on here. It jokes on me. Career's over. Not that one. It's not this. It's not that. Which one is it? I can't remember which one it was. Where he speaks specifically about Brendan and saying, oh, he didn't like him or something. I think it was on Tiger Belly. Was it on Tiger Belly? Maybe it was on Tiger Belly. Let's see if I can find it. I think it might have been on Tiger Belly. Let's see if I can get it up on it. Let's see if it was on Tiger Belly. Okay, it's not on Tiger Belly. Damn it. It was definitely about Brendan though. But I can't find it. Anyway, regardless, I do remember there was a video about it and a clip. I think it was on Tiger Belly. Somebody asked him a question. Hey, we flipping, what's going on with Brendan and whatever. And he said something like, yeah, he didn't like him to begin with and he kind of changed his mind. So Brendan for sure, I think, is jealous. So I should have probably split the question up. So I don't think they're both jealous. I think Chris is happy for Erik, and I think Brendan definitely is jealous of it because, you know, he probably still thinks he should be headlining. He definitely is one of the people who Joe Rogan said, oh, they think they should be headlining my club, but they're not good enough. For sure, Brendan is one of those people. Because I could imagine, this is the thing, I could imagine Joe saying to Brendan, yeah, come down and do open mic or come down and open for somebody. But Brendan's ego wouldn't allow it. He wouldn't do it. For sure wouldn't do it, especially if it's like a random lineup that doesn't feature Joe Rogan and friends or something. He probably wouldn't do it. So most likely, you know, I could see that happening because I don't think Joe has properly excommunicated him as some people think he has. I think Joe's pretty loyal in that respect. He probably has told him, hey, you can come down, open for somebody, whatever. And he's like, nah, mate, I'm not opening. I don't open. I'm a big boy now. So, you know, I think that probably ruined his chances overall. But again, what do I know? Anyway, you know what, quickly, let's look at this clip, actually. This is from Highlight Reel. It says, Erik Griffin reacts to Bryan and Bobby Lee KHALYLA drama. Was I, again, maybe I should ask the stream chat this. Was I the only person that thought it was really weird that Erik tried to basically, you know, say that it's none of his business, I'm not getting involved, when that whole business with, what's his face? Let me actually end the pause going. Let me end it. When that business with flipping what's his face with Bobby Lee, KHALYLA, and Brendan Schaub happened. Erik Griffin was like, hey, I'm not getting involved in this. This is none of my business, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, no, it kind of is your business, isn't it? Bobby Lee's been your friend before Brendan was. And if anything, maybe I'm mistaken here, but if I was Bobby Lee and Erik Griffin kept on working with Brendan, considering what happened, I would be a little bit annoyed. Wouldn't you guys? Would you guys be a bit annoyed if that happened to you? If you were Bobby Lee and, you know, Erik basically kept on working with Brendan, especially considering how the whole KHALYLA thing played out, it would have been a bit crazy to me. And the fact that Erik Griffin was getting annoyed, I think this clip says it. The clip says, I think Erik Griffin was getting annoyed that the fans were asking him for a response. Like, why are you asking me for? I'm not involved, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, enough of me describing it. Let's play the video. I do remember this video from time ago. I think it's the right one. Let's see if we can play it here. He was really, really upset that the fans were essentially asking him why he's not backing up his friend. It's kind of wild.
Is what it is. I've been on Steve Lee's podcast a number of times. You know, they're my friends. Andrew Santino, he's one of my best friends. Both Bobby and Andrew are coming to my wedding along with Steve. You know, they're my friends. As you know now, I am a regular on King and the Sting and now the Wing. King, Sting, and the Wing. But I was a regular.
You know what was funny about that era also? King, Sting, and the Wing for the longest time. Again, this is really, really pedantic, really anal, and really losery things that I'm mentioning here because no one else with a life cares about this shit. But I'm pretty sure in the early days of King and the Sting and King and the Sting and the Wing, they wouldn't even put Erik Griffin's name in the flipping descriptions. He wouldn't be on the thumbnails or anything. Like they kind of, you know, they didn't really want to claim him like that. That's the really sad part about it. Do you know what I mean? That's the really sad part about it. And he really fought to get his kind of place there, and eventually they kind of gave him some respect, and then, you know, here he is now, sucking on the teat of Brendan Schaub.
On the show, I've been on Fire Nick Kid a few times. I've built a friendship with Brendan Schaub. Brendan is also, you know, I consider Brendan a friend.
Of course,
I mean, we're not as close as I am with the other people, but you know, it just takes time. You know, I had a very, I wouldn't say I had a contentious relationship with.
It takes time to be friends with somebody. It takes time to like them, right? I didn't like the guy at first. I thought he was a complete douchebag, but over time, I kind of started to like him. When he started putting some money in my pocket, when he started paying me to appear on these shitty fucking podcasts, right? Then suddenly all my opinions about the guy changed. Honestly, these LA dudes are fucking incredible. They're so funny.
Brendan at first, but you know, it started off with me being like, who the hell is this UFC fighter thinking he could be a comic? You know
hold on, you know what's funny about that as well? Like, Brendan actually didn't even know who Eric Griffin was, and Eric Griffin saw him the first time and just hated him. That says everything you know about Eric Griffin. He's like a certified hater, at least with us and the fellow homeless cats. We got to know Brendan over time. Some of us were fans, like myself. I was a fan of T-Fat-K. I listened to it all the time. 10-minute podcasts. I loved the jokes, loved the funnies. It gave me a lot of flipping, entertainment back in the day when I was working retail and needed some stuff to listen to when I was in the stockroom, stacking boxes of shoes and shit. I loved it. And then over time, Brendan started getting on E. He started dyeing his hair white and shit, wearing, funny shoes and thinking he's a sneakerhead because he likes to wear funky trainers. And then suddenly the show went to shit. But at least us, we kind of listened to these guys, and every time we're like, you know what, this guy's a bit of a dick. Eric Griffin saw Brendan one time. He didn't know him and instantly hated him. This guy is the personification of a hater. Like, he's way worse than anybody on the freaking Fire the Kid subreddit. I don't care what anyone says. And what makes him worse too is that he has no principles, no morals, because as soon as Brendan started to pay him money, everything about Brendan that he hated, it was okay now. It didn't exist. It didn't happen. He retconned the entire thing. Anything that happened beforehand, he retconned it entirely. Insane.
Since to change my tune about that, because it obviously doesn't matter what people think about someone's art. If you think someone's funny or not, it doesn't even matter. That's not what sells tickets.
But that's what you said. That's what you did. He was insinuating about Brendan. Honestly, I wish I could fucking find the clip. He was insinuating, like, how does Brendan get gigs or something? Like, you didn't like him. I'm gonna see if I can just Google it and it will come up. Let's see. Eric Griffin on my phone here. Eric Griffin, Brendan Schaub. Let's see. Let's put hate. Let's see what he says. Because I'm sure that video exists, man. I'm sure somebody must have posted it on the Final Kid subreddit. I'm sure. No, for 2009, finally saying everybody's saying. No. Oh, man. I'm sure it exists. I'm legitimately sure it exists. But anyway, let's play it.
Whatever Brendan's got, his work ethic, whatever people like about him, it works. He's on like 5, 6, 7 shows. He's built the Thick Boy Network. He's got 2 specials.
This cope. It's okay to say, hey, I'm cool with the guy and just keep it moving. All of this cope and all of this flipping convincing of himself is just lame because he's the one that hated the guy first off of just appearances. So I don't know who he's trying to convince here.
Whether you like him or not, whether you think he's funny or not, it doesn't matter. People love to hate him. People love to love him, and they go see him. He sells out places. You know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to get people to come watch me. I'm a great comic. You hear what I'm saying? Listen to me. I'm a great comic.
Who's he talking to? It's just such dorky behavior. Honestly, why are stand-up comedians so uncool? Like, what is this? This feels like what he does before he goes to auditions or something.
People to come watch me. I'm a great comic. You hear what I'm saying? Listen to me. I'm a great comic.
Listen, you're a great comic. You're way funnier than Dave Chappelle. You deserve to be. Who's that guy? That guy that smashes everything. What's his fucking name? Oh, see, the joke's gone now. But the guy that smashes everything, the black guy with the afro that smashes everything when he does a show. I forgot his name, but he thinks he probably deserves to be that guy.
Okay, you're gonna have a good time when you come to my show. I just got to convince people to come to my show. So whatever he's got, he convinces people to come to his show. So whether you like him or not, I don't really care. He's changed my whole feeling about that. It don't matter what people think about someone. It don't matter if they're funny or not. All that matters is if people come watch them. That's all that matters.
Oh, yeah, true. Anyway, let's see this. I think I got it here. I think I may have found it. I think the clip is called Eric Griffin talking about Schaub being sensitive. Yeah, I got it. I think I may have it. I think this may be the one. I'm pretty sure this is the one. So imagine this is what he was saying before. Let's hear what he says. Let's get up on here. Bear with me a second as I fucking load this motherfucker. Let's see what this fucking Mr. Potato fucking man was saying. Let's see. This is from a few years ago, right? So let's put some, let's put it into context.
Schaub's still mad at me from like when he the first time I ever seen him do comedy, I didn't even know him. I just heard like, oh, there's this UFC fighter doing comedy. So I'm watching his set, and it was way back, okay? And I'm just like, oh, it just annoyed me because he's this big.
See, he just hated him because of appearances. He didn't know the guy. He pretended to like he didn't know nothing about him. He heard about him, instantly hated about him. He hated Brendan simply from just hearing about him. Imagine that. Big up Austin Casey. Big up $5.
I had a feeling Brenda was a social bully at the Comedy Store days. Kinda like he thought he was big man on campus BC of Daddy Rogan. That probably caused a lot of hate back in those days of the Comedy Store.
Yo, Casey, Austin Casey, you are completely right. I'm not taking anything away from that. You are 100% right. I'm sure Brendan was, I wouldn't even say a bully. I'm just sure he let his nuts hang, as Tekashi 6ix9ine would say. He let it be known, I'm the friend of Joe Rogan's, I'm a friend of Bryan CALLEN'S, and you're going to feel me today. You know what I mean? For sure. And I'm sure people kind of felt uncomfortable with that. I think they even mentioned before on Tiger Belly, right? I think Bobby Lee mentioned a few times that he didn't like the vibe at Tiger Belly because it was kind of like a boys club. It was kind of like the cool frat boy type of things, and you know, the Joe Rogan's friends kind of made it their own club, and you guys were kind of like on the outside. So I'm sure that was the case, but I'm still saying this as I maintain, because you know, Eric Griffin's coping in the other clip. Eric Griffin didn't know Brendan and hated him. Then after some number of years, when Brendan starts to pay him, suddenly everything he hated about Brendan was okay. And then when Brendan tried to fuck KHALYLA behind Bobby Lee's back, who's meant to be one of his best friends, he acted like people asking him, hey, his opinion on things or him to chime in was out of order and that he shouldn't be involved. But aren't you best friends with Bobby Lee? Don't you have any fucking loyalty to your friends? Allegedly your friends. Now suddenly someone pays you and all that loyalty they have with your friends is completely gone, and you can't call out some real fuck shit. Because it was some fuck shit. Not telling him to quit King of the Sting, but just to be like, that's the thing about that clip I'm going to show you. He was getting angry that the fans are asking him, hey, why aren't you saying anything about what happened Brendan Schaub and fucking KHALYLA? Why aren't you talking about it? That was pretty fucked up. He was getting upset that the fans are asking him. That's what I don't understand. Anyway, go back to this clip. Big up Austin Casey. I appreciate you.
Muscular dude, you know, and now you're gonna do my thing.
Good looking.
You know what I mean? Get the fuck out of here.
The entitlement, my thing. The entitlement, my thing. The bitterness. This guy is the original hater. I'm gonna die on that hill. Eric Griffin's a bigger hater than anybody out there. Because for me personally, I do this stream for shits and giggles. I don't hate any of these people. I find it entirely entertaining. This to me is like my version of watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians or Love is Blind and shit, because I don't really watch reality TV like that. It's just not my thing. But I'm balls deep into this shit. I'm balls deep into the no jumper shit. I'm balls deep into Joe Budden and New Oreo Moore shit. All of this kind of podcast personality drama, I fucking live for it. Right? But I don't hate none of these guys. I think it's fucking hilarious. I've said it plenty of times on here. I think Brendan Schaub is the modern American dream. He's been able to become a multi-millionaire despite being like double-digit IQ. That's pretty sick achievement. He's also done it without having the ability of knowing how to fucking use a computer. He doesn't even own one. He said it himself. He can't edit. He can't make thumbnails. He can't shoot. He can't record nothing. But he's become a multi-millionaire, even though he's legitimately might have brain damage. That legitimately is quite admirable. I don't care what anyone says. So I find him funny as fuck. He's frustrating, cool, but I don't hate the guy. This Eric Griffin guy has definite hate in his heart. I don't care what anyone says.
Doing my thing. So then I went up after him and I was like, oh yeah, guys, that was like if I start doing UFC fighting for no reason. How would you feel if I was like, I want to fight? Wouldn't you be upset about it? But so I don't know, but I think he took it a little personal at the time, because then he went on Rogan and talked about it. Yeah, Eric Griffin was like, you know what I mean? But that's just what we do.
That's
we like fucking shit on each other. You know what I mean?
That's funny.
Yeah.
It's just a funny thing to say, but like cut to like he's done a special, he's got a successful podcast, he's transitioned into the entertainment business. You know, he's killing it. But it's like, you know, because
he's killing it. That didn't sound like he was happy about that. He's killing it. Oh, fucking cunt.
there's no right or wrong way to do this these days. You know, you find your path and you do it.
Anyway, that proves to me, like I said before, that Eric Griffin's fucking full of shit, personally. He's still funny you to see him like this, but he's for sure full of shit. Let's go back to that video. and see him getting angry at fans telling him why he's not chiming in with the whole thing that's happening. This is amazing content, honestly. I swear to God.
In terms of business, you know what I'm saying? You can all have your different tastes. So, anyways, I've been on King of this thing now for it's been almost a year.
Oh yeah, Uche, you're right. Yeah, he did, didn't he? He did. Mbappe complained about Eric Griffin on Rogan. He did, didn't he? He said something like, "Oh, I think he doesn't like me or something." And then I think Joe had to like tell him like, "Yo, why are you sick in the head? You're a comedian. This is what we do. We bust each other's balls. It's not that deep." And but Brendan was legitimately concerned, like, "Oh, does he like me?"
So I have a relationship with him too. Okay. That being said, there's some sort of drama going on that I have
you know, this is like a combination of like, how do I have to say? This is a combination of like cowardice and just like arrogance that I don't like in people. You know, like he's such a coward that he doesn't want to, you know, basically, not even confront or even talk about this issue with Brendan, I guess, or bring it up with Bobby Lee, or maybe he's in the bad place with Bobby Lee, or he's basically, you know, back in the side of Brendan in one way by refusing to talk about it and pretend like he doesn't know what's going on because he wants to protect his flipping paycheck with Brendan Schaub. It's quite cowardly.
I am not privy to this drama, other than it's spilling over into my world. So
look how angry
I
he
didn't
is.
know what was going on.
Look how angry he is.
I didn't know. We don't talk. I didn't know what was happening. All right. I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, right.
And then all of a sudden, I'm getting hit up like, you know. So whatever happened between Bob,
he doesn't even want to say it. He's such a piece of shit. He's such a piece of shit. If the shoe was on the other foot, sorry, if it was the other way around, honestly, he would be pissed off, man. He would be so pissed off.
Bobby,
yes, big up Richie,
and Brendan. However whatever happened on Trash Tuesday,
whatever happened, you know what happened, you cunt.
Whatever happened between Annie, all these people, I don't know.
Look at him. He's such a coward. He's such a fucking coward, man. This is it. And again, I'm only saying this, right? Because he started off hating Brendan. Then Brendan started to pay him. And suddenly, his loyalty to one of his best friends in Bobby Lee was completely put to one side. And he pretended like he didn't see what was going on. He put the blinkers on, or he buried his head in the sand and didn't want to acknowledge the fact that Brendan allegedly tried to fuck KHALYLA behind Bobby Lee's back. For him, that was okay. This is probably the reason why, again, I'm going to speak out of my ass here, but I'm going to quickly double check on you. I'm going to say it out loud first before I check. This, I think, might be the reason why him and Bobby Lee don't get on anymore. I know they've always had a bit of a contentious relationship, but I feel like Eric Griffin hasn't really been on Tiger Belly in a while. He hasn't been on what's that show they've got? Bad Friends either in a while either. Or am I mistaken? He hasn't been on it in quite some time. That would make me think, yeah, it was a year ago. Maybe, I don't know. If it was me, that would put a bit of a strain on my relationship. I really want to be hanging out with the guy. Let's see, when was he last on Bad Friends? I'm just checking out my phone when he was on Bad Friends. Bad Friends, Eric Griffin. Let's see when he was last on. He was last on Bad Friends 2 years ago. So there might be some validity in my little theory there. This whole affair may have kind of led to the, you know, complete demise of Eric Griffin and Bobby Lee's relationship. Because if I'm Bobby Lee, I know Bobby Lee's also a huge pussy. Also, he's not going to be the type of person to hold a grudge and to say like he's upset. He's going to pretend like he's not. But if I'm Bobby Lee, I'm going to be pissed off if Eric Griffin is still friends with Brendan and working with him. It would make me not want to be friends with you. Because that guy tried to fuck my girlfriend, my wife. You know what I mean? It's like, what? That big guy tried to fuck my wife. You know what I mean? He could legitimately kill me and fuck her if he wanted to. He could probably put me in Brendan Schaub could probably hold Bobby Lee with one hand, like away like that, or by his head as he's fucking flipping KHALYLA if he wanted to. Right? That's how flipping, you know, much disparity there is in size. So if I'm Bobby Lee, I'll be annoyed. But let's go back to Eric Griffin. basically gaslighting his fans or audience for questioning his loyalty.
And it had nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me, and honestly, I don't care. So, however,
You don't care that Brendan tried to fuck Bobby Lee. This guy's the worst type of friend.
and I don't appreciate that the fact that the shit is public, that they're dealing with it the way they're dealing with it, and making.
Hold on, you don't know. You said you don't know. Now you don't upset that they're dealing with it in public. Make your mind up.
Money in the process of doing it. So it's like it's all for content, you know. So
is that the moral ground you're trying to? Is that the moral hill you want to die on? The content shit. Okay.
And so then it just riles up all the fans who think they're a part of it. You people think you're a part of it.
Look how he's gaslighting us. He's gaslighting us. You're not a part of it. You do not matter. Regular civilians, you don't understand jokes. How dare you comment on what we do? How dare you have an opinion on what we say? How dare you?
These people don't care about you or your opinion. So you have
Jesus Christ. It's funny because I'm sure if all the people that have subbed him on Twitch said, okay, you don't care about us, we don't care about you, and they all unsubbed, he'd probably be upset, wouldn't he? All those people paying him, whatever monies they're paying him on Twitch, if they decided, you know what, if we're not important, we don't matter, let's remove our flipping $5 subs or whatever and keep it moving. We don't matter, right? He wouldn't be happy about that, I don't think.
Your own opinion, and then you're coming at me, bullying me. Y'all are people.
This guy's a fuck, honestly. Erik Griffin, you're a funny guy. You really are. Your stand-up is pretty decent. You have some decent takes, but you are a fucking pussy. You legitimately are. If you feel like you're getting bullied by people on the internet who are questioning why you're not backing up your best friend, alleged best friend in Bobby Lee, the guy you were fighting over on his podcast, you'd cry about him not replying back to your texts and speaking about how close you are and fighting for his love. Legitimately, you think bullying, yeah, exactly, as Young Old Vibe said, asking a question equals bullying in your eyes. I'm sorry, Erik. I like you. You seem like a cool dude, but you're a fucking pussy.
People keep coming on my game stream. They're coming on my chat. They're coming on my Instagram.
They follow me everywhere. And they're bullying me. They're attacking me. They're coming on my stream. They're coming on my Instagram comments.
I'm like, yo, where do you stand on this? As if it matters what you think.
No. Oh, my God. Let's go back to that again. Look at his face first. Look.
Or keep coming on my game stream. They're coming on my chat. They're coming on my Instagram like, yo, where do you stand on this? As if it matters what you think.
No, that's what an idiotic thing to say. If somebody's asking you where you stand on this, and again, they're only asking him about this because him and Bobby Lee are allegedly quite close. So, you know, according to them. So it's only natural that fans will be like, hey, what do you think about this comedian guy that you work with trying to fuck one of your best friend's girlfriends behind his back? Like, doesn't that put you in a conflict of interest? Like, doesn't that make things awkward? What do you think of it overall, just as from the outside looking in? That's like an okay question to ask, isn't it? That's like exactly a valid question. You cannot answer it if you don't want to. You can say no comment. That's fair enough. But questioning the validity of it is insane. You're allowed to say no comment. You're allowed to say it's none of your business what I think about it. No problem. But questioning the validity of the question is like... Erik Griffin loves Brendan Schaub's money. Money. Basically, pay that guy enough and he will have your back forever. Anyway, let's take a final look at the poll and then I'll close it. Last count of the poll, 73 votes. You all think, you all think that Brendan Schaub and CALLYLA are not happy for Erik Griffin getting his gig at the comedy Mothership, Joe Rogan's new club. Like I said, I will have to disagree with that. I definitely do think CALLYLA is happy for Erik. I think Brendan isn't, but we will continue. Thank you everyone for voting on the poll. Thank you for making my life amazing. I appreciate all of you. And yeah, let's move on. Okay, cool. let's talk about this one quickly here, right? Have you guys actually? Let me take a quick little grab of the final poll results, so I have it here on my thing. Boom. Have you guys seen this? This is pretty funny. And again, I think this is something that I would like. This is something I would like to see, right? More comedians do, and more people in general. Because I've said it plenty of times before here on the stream that I don't like cancel culture. I think cancel culture is GAY. I think it's incredibly awful. In the grand scheme of things, I think only place where cancel culture should be accepted or should be is acceptable is in rape cases, sexual assault cases, and anything concerning pedos. I think in those cases, because sometimes it's so hard to convict people in those three areas, especially when it comes to rape and sexual assaults, like the conviction rates, especially in the UK, I think the conviction rates for rapes are like 7% or something. Incredibly hard to convict people, which is really crazy. So if that's the case, and you're somebody who is a victim of that, God forbid, but if you were somebody victim of that, I think you seeking some sort of justice through the court of public opinion and getting the person, basically exposing whoever did this to you in public, and also getting anything removed from them. Maybe they get fired from their job, they get fired from their big, entertainment industry position, music position, whatever it is. That is where I think cancel culture can work, because it's not going to be good. It's not going to be just. It's not going to make that experience go away, or it's not going to make it any better. But at the very least, you have some level of like get back from that person, right? They ruined your life, and you maybe have been able to ruin their life in some way. That's the only thing I think cancel culture works in. Anything else with cancel culture, when it comes to just a difference of opinion, I'm not a fan of it. Like, you know what I mean? It's fucking stupid. If you don't like somebody's opinion or they piss you off, just let them keep talking, and eventually, if they're a piece of shit, they'll get themselves cancelled anyway. I don't think cancel people and letting them not talk is good. That being said, I still think there's a real distinct lack of people in Hollywood who do get cancelled for every reason they get cancelled for, who don't just accept it gracefully and move on. Because it's not like none of these people are going to have to work in Walmart, right? Unless, things get really bad. It's very unlikely if you get cancelled and you're somebody in the entertainment industry, you're going to have to be packing, flipping groceries somewhere at Walmart. It's not going to happen. You're not going to go that far. So if that's the case, why not just work in the industry? Why not become an agent? Why not, I don't know, start up a boutique studio somewhere? Why not go to, like what we see here in this article, why not move to another country and restart your flipping acting career? Like, that could be something to do as well. But people, I don't know, they just hold on to the dream that they're going to come back in again. And we've seen so far, especially in the court of public opinion, if you've been cancelled in that way, it's really difficult to come back unless you're really talented and got a lot of money. So when I saw this story about Amber Heard, it was pretty, I thought props to her. Regardless of what you think about the woman, we're not going to get into the case and shit. We all know what happened. But I think this is the graceful way to accept that the public consensus on you has changed. No one really likes you anymore. You're going to find it hard to get roles in Hollywood because you're bad for PR, because of what happened. Even if they agree with you and they think Johnny Depp is a bad guy and you're the good person, no one's going to be happy to kind of put money behind you. So if that's the case, just accept it with grace, like Amber Heard's doing, and move to another country. And this is courtesy of page 6. It says, Amber Heard quits Hollywood and moves to Madrid. And the report says, Amber Heard has reportedly quit Hollywood and moved to Madrid. The quote says here, I can reveal that Heard has quit Hollywood and quietly relocated to Spain with her young daughter, how do you say that? Onag or Onaya? Onag, I don't know how you say it, Oonagh. Nice name though. According to the journalist, a friend of Heard, she's bilingual in Spanish and is happy there, raising her daughter away from all the noise. The pal also told the outlet the 37-year-old actress may one day return to Tinseltown. This, I think, is a really, really good move. Personally, I think this is a really good move. Why do I think this is a good move? I think this is a good move because if you're familiar with, the European market overall, especially places like Spain, Italy, France, the flipping television and film industry there is booming. So if she becomes bilingual, or if she is bilingual, if she adds another language to her arsenal, maybe Italian, I'd probably go for French. She won't be flipping, she'd be inundated with offers. there are so many roles that she could do, especially looking the way that she does. So the idea, you know, of her kind of accepting her Hollywood cancellation gracefully and deciding to move across is really a good idea. Just look at Netflix. There's many Spanish flipping series on Netflix out there that she could flipping, you know, smash and do well in, especially, you know, again, given what she looks like, you know, an attractive white woman, blonde and stuff. Like, she's not going to be short of roles. And I'm curious why we don't see more people doing it, especially these like LA comedian types. I think of someone like a Bryan being a good example. Instead of trying to film like shitty movies for the Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro's nonsense and whatnot, why not just, you know, relocate somewhere else and start your acting career, especially if you actually care about acting. Yeah, and you're not just like in it for the association with Hollywood and you want to be cool and you want to appear like you're doing something. Like, if you're actually in it for the craft, go into another location, go to another country, even moving into the UK, you could probably restart your career here pretty easily. But they don't want to, you know, it requires work, it requires a lot of money, time and shit. So they'd probably just rather just stay what they're doing. Anyway, to continue here, quote, I don't think she's in any hurry to return to Hollywood, but she'll probably come back when its time is right for the right project, a friend explained. So yeah, I like it. I think it's a good idea. I've watched a clip of her actually speaking Spanish. She actually does sound pretty bilingual. Let's actually see it here. She actually sounds legit. Amber Heard speaking Spanish. So I think it's going to be pretty well good for her. Regardless of what you think about the case, I think it's going to work out pretty well for this lady. Let's put this one down here. Let's put this on. Amber Heard speaks perfect Spanish. Hopefully this doesn't get me fucking copyright striked as well. These fucking cunts.
Amber Heard's in the house. ¿Cómo te trata Miami?
Muy bien, bueno, no he salido. nunca he salido del hotel. Yo he ido aquí todo el día.
Pero
Jesus, man, she's got some hitters on her, innit? God damn, the mama milkers.
Nunca he salido del hotel.
Yeah.
Yo he ido aquí
The milkers are milking, innit, eh?
todo el día.
Pero has estado en Miami antes.
Sí, muchas veces. Me encanta Miami.
Me encantó la película. Y me gustaría saber cuál fue tu parte favorita de haber participado en esta película.
Hay muchas cosas, pero tengo que decir la verdad para verlo después, como ya terminada, completa.
Yeah, decent accent there. Anyway, let's stop that before I start producing some man milk in my trousers. Let's move on from that one. Let's move on before I have to start, you know. Before I have to take a break, you know. Let's relax. Let's not watch too much. I'm like, yo, I'll let her shit on my bed any day, mate. I'll tell you that one. Tell you that much, mate. All right. I'll let her defecate my fucking. I'll let her defecate my duvet anytime. I swear to God. Oh, mate, honestly, you know what it is. You know what it is. Yo, anyway. Deep breaths. Let's actually drink some water, as Uche said, actually. I'm getting too thirsty. I need a bottle of water. Oh. Anyway, too thirsty. And it's a story to tell. Mad Ropes. Call me the Ropes Man, mate. Call me the Ropes Man. Big up Ropes Man, actually, wherever he is. No jumper OG. Anyway, cool. Moving on. So, have you guys seen this? Actually, let me see. Where is it? Let me see if I can get up, actually. Oh yeah, let me see. Let me get up on this side. I think this guy's post actually has it on there. Let me see if I can find it. Bear with me 1 second. Let's see if I can find it. Bear with me 1 second here. Is it loading? Yes, it is. Actually, you know what? Let me just do it. Fuck it. So, most of you guys know all the stuff happening with Tucker Carlson, right? So, recently, that guy Patrick Bet David, right? PBD, right? Is that what he's called, right? And from the podcast Valuetainment, put out this open contract letter type of thing, essentially trying to tease Tucker Carlson to joining his platform. And number one, I was just surprised at the amount of money he was offering. I was like, shit, I didn't know Valuetainment was like doing that well business wise. But then I remembered watching all these YouTube videos on that Patrick Bet David guy, and I know a lot of guys on YouTube basically say he's a scam artist and say that he runs like MLMs, multi-level marketing agencies and shit, and just a bit of a shady dude overall, right? A lot of that kind of who's that guy? That Dave Cardona, something Cordane. I don't know who that guy is. Cordone, that guy that flips the houses. There are a lot of those kind of dodgy kind of hustle bro types on the internet. Regardless, anyway, I see some clips of Valuetainment online. Some clips of them are all right, but in general, he kind of comes across like, just a little bit of a shady dude. So I was surprised that he was able to flipping offer this amount of money. But it did come across incredibly cringe how much he was sucking up to flipping Tucker Carlson. But it also was kind of interesting to see. That's his name, Grant Cardone. That's it. Thank you, Charlie K. It was interesting to see just how much value Tucker Carlson must have out there. And I guess because I'm in the UK, I don't watch, Fox News. We do have it here, but I don't really watch the news in general. But I do know that, from just reading articles online, that Tucker Carlson's a bit of a big deal when it comes to ratings. Like, I think he basically accounted for a lot of the reasons why a lot of people watch Fox News in the first place. He's got a big following. And I think even his Twitter that he did recently, where he kind of spoke about the firing from Fox, it got loads of views, I think in the millions. So clearly he's got a big pull. I just didn't know it was worth this amount. That's what I'm saying in terms of the offer. This is pretty crazy. It kind of shows you that, like, stuff has just changed nowadays. Like, these platforms, these networks, they're essentially beholden to the talent that's on them. They kind of have to acquiesce to their every needs in some ways. And it also makes me think about what I said earlier before about Kai Cenat, basically demanding Twitch to offer him a certain level of a contract. And me saying before that, Twitch are in a position where they don't need to offer him anything because they know most likely there's going to be another Kai Cenat, popping up later down the line, because there's always a never-ending flow of new content creators and streamers popping up. But it also makes me think sometimes when people are really good, you have to pay for the talent. This might be one of them things. So maybe that Kai Cenat guy has a point of demanding what he's demanding, because when you're just good, you're good. Or when you've got value, and someone should, and you should be compensated for it maybe. But the letter says as follows, courtesy of Valuetainment. It says, Dear Tucker, I'll get right to the point. We want you to partner with us in what we feel is a noble and necessary effort to define the future of media. Yeah. Anyway, the bullet points. Here's our offer. 100 million over 5 years. Madness. An equity stake in Valuetainment, president of Valuetainment, and a board seat to project our strategic vision and voice. Your own podcast and other daily weekly shows, documentaries and movies covering topics you care about. What else? We are all ears. Our convictions about freedom, liberty and truth run deep, and we believe that we are an absolute right fit for you in America. Wow. While we may not be the biggest media company, we are a new media leader driving into the future to make truth, fair debate and commentary more accessible, consumable and protected. We are 100% serious about our offer. Respectfully, Patrick Bet David, CEO. That's a pretty crazy deal. But I don't know what he was getting. I don't know what he was getting on his Fox deal per year, because 20 mil per year isn't too bad, coming off the back of a firing, right? But then, it depends on deliverables, how many podcasts he has to do, blah, 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 blah. But it does go to show the value of flipping Tucker Carlson. He can be annoying. I know people don't like the guy. I don't necessarily tune into him. I don't check out his stuff. I'm not watching fucking Fox News any time of day. I'm not watching any news channel. Let that be known. But it's clearly evidence that this fucking dorky looking guy used to wear these silly bow ties, and he's got that incredibly punchable face. He's the truth. He's legitimately the truth if people are offering him this kind of money. Like, just imagine if only he didn't have all that bad smudge on his name. If only he was a bit more brand friendly and he didn't have all the flipping cancel culture stuff around him, like all this shit, the text messages, you know, that have been leaked from fucking New York Times, or this recent article, right, they posted, you know, another video, Tucker Carlson makes insinuating remarks about women. Like, they clearly got their eye on him, right? They, like, it kind of shows, like, as soon as he got fired from Fox, all these fucking things come out of the woodwork. Like, the protection of Fox is removed, and now he's kind of on his own, and they clearly want to get him out of the paint. Because I think, I don't actually know why. I'm thinking out loud. I think a lot of people, Eddie D said Tucker was making 20 mil a year at Fox. Oh, so that's not really that good of a deal, really. Or maybe it is, because I guess with Fox it's every day, isn't it? I didn't know that, Eddie D. Fucking hell. He's making 20 million at Fox. Shit. So, but I think if he's having to work every single day and then you're doing 3 podcasts a week, that's pretty, you know, for 1 hour a day, that's pretty different. I would assume. But what's the reason? What's the main reason why everyone wants to get Tucker Carlson out of the paint? Apart from being a Republican, I know, you know, some people out there in the state, especially in the media, don't like him just because he's Republican and shit. But from what I remember, he's not really a fan of Trump, and most probably, yeah. So what? Oh no, the one thing I think of, they probably blame him. That's what I remember. They probably blame him for the fucking thing that happened on on Jan 6th, isn't it? I don't know why, but I think they blame him for that. Maybe they think he was he was encouraging people to kind of go down there or some shit. I don't really know. I wasn't really paying attention to politics too tough around that time, but I do remember people saying that he played a role in it in some way, shape, or form. I think so. I don't know, but it's just surprised that people are going after him this hard. I'm not really too sure why. You know, he's too dorky and too lame looking to be involved in actual like assault things. He's not going to bully anybody, I don't think, looking the way he does anyway. I don't know, man. I'm interested to find out why. But regardless of all that, I quickly want to check this article regarding the "It's Not How White Men Fight." It's an article courtesy of New York Times. It says Tucker Carlson's text message that alarmed Fox leaders. New York Times are saying this is the reason why he was fired from Fox, right? This is the reason. So he sent this message. Who did he send this to? Okay, Tucker Carlson's text message to a producer. Let's see if you guys think this is worthy enough to get fired. Because I think it's not, personally, but hey, what do I know? A couple weeks ago, I was watching a video of people fighting in a street in Washington. A group of Trump guys surrounded an Antifa kid and started punching the living shit out of him. It was 3 against 1 at least. Jumping a guy like that is dishonorable, obviously. It's not how white men fight. Yeah. So how do black men fight then? Like packs of monkeys and gorillas? Is that what he's trying to say? Is that what we do? Like, I don't think so, man. I don't think I've ever got into a fight and went to act like a monkey. You know what I mean, or do like the monkey kind of like fighting, like fucking, you know, what's his name? Bruce Lee. Like, that's a weird thing to say. It's a weird thing to say, but it also doesn't make any sense because there's many videos online. Like, especially if you follow the Twitter account called Fight Porn, I think, and there's some other ones. I follow all of them. There's plenty of videos of trailer trash and regular white people fighting in groups. Like, plenty of them. Like, plenty videos. So this idea that only black people like to, like, what's that thing called? Like to, what's the thing called? When you sneak someone from the back, punching, or like to rush people. That's not true. Just go on the public freak out subreddit. You see plenty of videos of white people rushing people. So that's just a weird comment, but I don't think it's enough to get fired, personally. It continues. Yet suddenly, I found myself rooting for the mob against a man, hoping they'd hit him harder, kill him. I still don't think that's enough to get fired, personally. Watching a video and hoping somebody dies is not enough to get fired, because I've watched videos where somebody's being annoying on a plane or in the supermarket, and I thought, you know what, why doesn't someone just push this woman in front of a car? Like, you know, it is what it is. You know, it's not going to happen because I'm watching a video of it and it probably didn't happen. That's why I'm watching the video, but you'll have to say, you have to think these things. Come on. I can't get fired for thinking things. Anyway, it says, I really wanted them to hurt the kid. I could taste it. Okay. Now he might lose me here. Okay. He might lose me here. I'm not tasting the blood of some woman that I'm watching the video of being annoying on a plane or a train. I'm not tasting her potential blood as she splats on the floor or as her head fucking gets shoved into the propeller blade or something. I don't want that. I just wanted to kind of feel injured or something, you know what I mean? To get like maybe punching in the head or the nose, but I don't taste the blood. He continues, it says, then somewhere deep in my brain, an alarm went off. This isn't good for me. I'm becoming something I don't want to be. Honestly, who's sending, these are the kind of texts you send to somebody after a fucking, you know, after a session on the slopes, if you get what I mean, or after having a couple of pills. Like, this is what you send somebody. Why is he just texting people this randomly, producers? Doesn't he have any friends? The Antifa creep is a human being. Much as I despise what he says and does, as much as I'm sure I'd hate him personally if I knew him, I shouldn't gloat over his suffering. I should be bothered by it. I should remember that somewhere, somebody probably loves the kid and would be crushed if he was killed. If I don't care about those things, if I reduce people to their politics, how am I better than his? This is a pretty thoughtful, introspective text. It starts off fucking insane, but I still don't think this is enough to get fired. What do you guys think? Should you get fired from your job if this gets found? Like, imagine you're texting one of your colleagues at work and you accidentally text your boss this. Should you get fired from work for this? I don't think so. Because people say way worse on fucking group texts. On group chat, sorry. I know I have people on my group chats that say some fucking crazy shit. But it's not enough to get fired. But then it also makes me think, in the entertainment industry, if somebody fires you for stuff like this, it probably means they were looking for an excuse to fire you anyway. So maybe Tucker Carlson's card was marked a long time ago, and it didn't matter what he did or didn't do. They were gonna get him out of the paint. You know, maybe that's the case. Maybe that's what's happening. Also, I think that's what's happening. Like, they wanted him out. They found any excuse to get him out, and then, you know what I mean, they stuck him out again. But I'm just not too sure. Like, in terms of employment law, how can this constitute to firing? He's going to have a good case. If he decides to sue Fox, he might have a good case, because how does this count? How does this account for like, what the hell is this? What is this? What is this like? What is this like a violation of? I'm interested to see. But yeah, that happened. And then of course, the follow-up is this article courtesy of fucking Guardian. Tucker Carlson makes insinuating remarks on women in leaked video. Let's see the remarks here. New footage was published on Thursday by the progressive media watchdog Media Matters. In the video, Carlson asks an unnamed staff when they got their ladies' room and powdered their rooms. Well, let's actually see this, actually. Let's actually watch the video, because I don't want to fucking read this out. Let's see what they say. Foxley, Tucker Carlson asks makeup. Okay. Again, it is enough to get fired. Let's see if this is enough to get fired, if you guys think the same thing. Because I bet you it's not.
Can I ask you a question? You don't have to answer. It's personal. I'm not speaking of you, but more in general of ladies. When they go to the ladies' room and powder their noses, is there actually nose powdering going on?
Sometimes.
Ooh.
He's a lame. He's a lame. And he's clearly uncomfortable and awkward and clumsy around women and shit, which makes me wonder why he has kids and why he's married. Like, this guy, he sounds like a bit of a virgin. But again, it's not enough to get fired.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
Most of the time it's lipstick.
Do pillow fights ever break out? You don't have to.
Not in the back.
Okay, not in the back. Okay, that'd be more a dorm activity. Okay.
This is naughty precise nurse.
Okay, if he starts talking about, do you start scissoring each other and stuff, cool. But this is a bit, as Kucha is saying, this is a bit corny. It's a bit lame. But again, this is not enough to get fired. I don't think it is.
I'm sorry. So you are such a good sport, such a good person. Thank you.
I got 2 brothers.
I know you do, but you do not deserve that, and I mean it with great affection.
I got you, man. Which way do you want to go?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry. Let me tune in. Can I ask you a question?
Come on, man. Come on. That's nothing. That was the big expose. Look at the fucking headline as well. These fucking guys, man. They marked his card. I'm certain of it. His card was marked. They wanted to get him out from, that didn't matter. Look at that. Fox leaks. Tucker Carlson asks makeup artists if pillow fights ever break out in women's bathrooms. Like, that is so soft. Like, that's nothing. What's the headline on The Guardian? Headline on The Guardian. Tucker Carlson makes insinuating remarks on women in new leaked video. Man, that exactly, literally, come on. You can, I get not liking the guy. Like I said, he's got an incredibly punchable face. He's sometimes says the most. His takes are fucking terrible, for sure. Of course. But come on. Really. But hey, his card was marked. It is what it is. He's probably going to get a fat settlement from Fox on the back of it also, because I don't think what he sent as a text was even worthy of getting fired either. So he's probably got a case there if he wants to do that. But yeah, that's some bullshit, man. That's some bullshit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Jay, I would unalive myself. My job. Exactly. Just imagine being a journalist and that's what you have to do. That's what your script. That's your big like reveal expose that he may have told a makeup artist. Like that just sounds like office banter. Office banter's like that when you're in the kitchen, staff room, in the lift, like, you know, whatever, innit? Like the kind of guys that'll say that's what she said. Those type of jokes, like that's what they talk about. Like that's just office banter. You just, you know, grin, you laugh, you have a bit of a joke, and you keep it moving. It's not that deep. But hey, what do I know? Let me get a tissue first of all, quickly. Okay, let's do this. Okay, cool. Let's do this. Let's get back on this. All right, cool. So we're gonna watch some Wings of Redemption before we get into the comedy stuff, because I need to check in on my guy and see what fucking Wings of Redemption is saying. Let's check out. LUMMOX has got a new video out. It says Wings of Redemption says he can't fit in a 3X shirt or something. Let's see if that's true. Yeah, exactly. R.I.P. Rocco. Yeah, big up Eddie D. You know the vibes. I love it. Let's see what Wings of Redemption is saying. Let's see. Bish bash bosh. Let's go.
Keep in mind, I do not joke around.
Oh, is it?
I do not giggle. I do not try to have fun. I do not try to laugh. Lummox, hope you have a successful channel.
Oh yeah, big up Coiler. But Coiler said I peeped the Tim Ferriss book on the bookshelf. Yeah, brother, I'm a big fan of Tim Ferriss, man. Tim Ferriss is my guy. Tim Ferriss is my guy.
Tim
Ferriss is my guy. He's the main reason why I got into startups. I wanted to kind of work for myself and all that malarkey, because I legitimately think Tim Ferriss doesn't get the respect that he deserves for basically pioneering that whole you know, what would you call it? Fulfilled by Amazon business model. He was doing that from day dot. That whole idea of being location independent, the idea that 4-hour work week was essentially, he kind of got a lot of stick for it, because I think the book title name was provocative by nature, but it didn't really speak to the kind of overall theme of the book. The theme of the book isn't that he only wants you to be lazy and do only 4 hours of work. The idea behind it was, let's create a business for you, a muse, I think he calls it in the book, where it can generate income for you while you're sleeping, something that only requires 4 hours of work a week from you. So the rest of the time you can be spent doing the things that you like, you know, salsa dancing, I think he's got in the book, making furniture, whatever, drawing, whatever you want to do that actually brings you joy. You do that for most of the time, and that's how you live a fulfilled life. Like, that's how you become rich, because you're not bound to what I do now, what most of us do in work, where you have to kind of swap the time for monies. So you got more time. So that's why you become more rich, and also you become location independent. Like Tim Ferriss is a guy. Like I remember when I went backpacking in Nicaragua all them years ago, one of the things that I did when I went out there was I took the Tim Ferriss book out with me, and it was the one book that I read throughout the entire time of being out there. And I bumped into a few people who are doing like working from, you know, location independent sort of like travel backpacky type things. And I remember when I left the hostel that I was in, there was that kind of hostel where you go, where you have to kind of if you take a book, you leave a book sort of thing. And I think I must have left like 2 copies of the Tim Ferriss book in there. I bought another one over there whilst I was in there over there in Spanish also, that I kind of left. So yeah, Tim Ferriss has always got a special place in my heart. He's a G. I love that guy. Anyway, back to the video.
I do not try to have fun. I do not try to laugh. Lummox, hope you have a successful channel.
Oh, I gotta have some Dr. Pepper today.
By the way, quick question for you guys, because I know some of you guys are fans of Hassan Arbi and all those type of dudes. Maybe because I watch Wings of Redemption and I don't watch. Who don't I watch? No, I watch other streamers on YouTube. I don't watch a lot of like of those political ones. I just watch like random people streamers on YouTube. But because of Wings of Redemption, I don't understand why streamers eat food on stream. I know this is like, it's one of Hassan's thing, but what is it with, like, do you guys like that? I think that's like weird. Why don't you just like stop the stream or leave it on like an intermission sort of page, coming back soon, go have your food and then come back when you're ready? Why do you have to like eat while you're on stream? Is it because they don't want to lose viewers or something? Why? Or maybe just turn the microphone off. Like they're actually having full meals on stream. Like the sound of like all that shit is like, oh. What is that about? Like honestly, what is that about? Please, someone tell me. Like, okay, maybe we should. Yeah, we're just saying he streams like 10 hours a day or something. Okay, cool. Maybe that makes it. But still, you can eat before you start. You can eat before you start, and you can eat after. Hassan, okay, Teju says Hassan has a 8-hour a day contract with Twitch. Yeah, again, still, it's no excuse for me. I think you can leave the stream on and just pull up a chair and go eat on the side and then come back on and finish. You don't have to you can put a video on for half an hour while you stream and say, hey guys, I'll be back in half an hour. Let me just quickly finish my food and then go and eat it. Exactly, unmute it. I don't think it's an excuse to sit down and eat on camera. This guy's eating like rice and shit on camera. I find it so bizarre. Honestly, I find it so odd. But again, I'm one of the weirdos. I didn't like to maybe again, I'm strange at this, but you know, when I used to work in offices and shit, one of the things I did, even sometimes working in stores and shops, I never liked eating in the stock room or in the staff room. I would like to take, even if I made some stuff from home, I'd like to take it out with me, go to a local park, go to a coffee shop and buy a coffee and eat it there, like try to sneak it, eat in there. But I like to kind of like, I don't want to be at work. You know what I mean? I kind of like, even if it's 10 minutes, I want to quickly go outside and just eat it and kind of feel like I had a break. So I wouldn't want to be sitting there just gobbling food. But I don't know. I just think for a viewer, it's just a bit weird just to kind of sit. Unless you're doing a mukbang. If you're doing a mukbang, fair enough, right? Or you're reviewing fucking food, cool. You got to do it. But while you're streaming and you suddenly start eating a whole fucking Subway and shit, it's like. But anyway, back to fucking Wings of Redemption. I think I saw Eddie D say something recently. What did he say to me? 8 days away from the fight, and that takes place in the UK. Exactly. This guy is like, honestly, Wings and Boogie are amazing, man. 8 days away, and he's just, I don't know. Let's see what he says anyway. I want to see why he can't fit into his t-shirt.
I'm the Wings of Redemption Troll Lord 9000.
I love the dead air. That's what I like the most about Wings' streams. There's so much dead air. Just like, he's like such a fucking dour person. There's no way you can watch your streams and feel good about yourself or leave with a smile. He's just so miserable.
Morning, everybody. Big ups. Hope you're doing well considering yesterday. Yeah, I'm doing fine, man.
He plays games with Tasha Ski. He's like a game streamer. He's known more for playing Call of Duty. That's his kind of #1 game, but he's just basically plays games on stream and, you know, tries to engage with his audience, but he doesn't really. He just sits there and waits for the tips and donations.
I tweeted it out, but like, I had the most bullshit call this morning where the place that's doing the cremation for Rocco called and tried to upsell us. It's like, what kind of cold-blooded shit is that? Yeah, like asking me like, did I want to buy like urns or locks of hair or things of that nature. So I don't want to bury.
Imagine getting upsold because Rocco basically is his cat. Wings' cat died and he cried. Actually, let's watch that video a little bit. That was fucking incredible. Actually, I know it's mean to say, and I don't have a pet, so I wouldn't know this relationship. And I know it's very strong when you do have pets and they die. But him getting on stream and crying was legit. His cries, he's got one of the worst cries in the world. Wings of Redemption crying. Let's see, crying cat. It's the way he cries that just makes it funny, not the actual thing itself, by the way, because that isn't funny, obviously. Let's see. It's a short one. I don't know. There's not in there. I think I watched it before. Is it that one? That's not that. Okay, let's just see this. It might be this one. Exactly, which I remember. Men showing emotion. Anyway, let's play it. The real sad thing about this, personally, the real sad thing about this is that he has to come on stream because he feels lonely. And but basically that's why he's on stream, because he has no one to talk to. That's the real shame about this. He doesn't have anyone to talk to, so he comes on stream for sympathy, for support, whatever, right? And arm around the shoulder, a hug. Like, that's a sad thing, mostly. In this moment, the first thing he does is think of is turning on the stream. Yikes. He's gonna get some guy. Let's go.
Hey, everybody. No, I'm not sick. I can't really talk about Rocco without crying. So I come on here to try to get my mind off of it.
Nah, that's not the right thing. If your pet died and you were actually close, especially him, I think he had his cat for a long time. Many years, I think it might be more than 10 years. So that's a fucking long relationship. If that's the case, take some time off. You don't need to come on stream straight away. You can't take your mind off of a cat when you know your stream's going to be asking about it because you tweeted it. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense.
Rocco's still alive right now, but we're probably going to euthanize him tomorrow. I've said my goodbyes. And Rocco has kidney failure. And even if I caught it quicker, I could have gave him maybe another year. But it's genetic. I've been crying for like 4 hours, nasty. I'm almost dehydrated. Rocco's 12 and a half. The vet said his kidney was too far gone. Like, they could keep him alive, but they could only... But it would cost thousands of dollars, and she couldn't guarantee more than 2 months.
I can't see the bit where he's crying. Let me get the bit where he's crying.
He's still eating.
That's the bit where
he's just lost a lot of weight.
Oh, it's not... Okay, it's not on this one. I got the wrong one. Fuck. Where is it? Okay, let's just search for Rocco. I just want to see a bit where he's crying because he's got a really ugly cry. I'm not laughing about the cat, guys. Okay, don't call me fucking heartless in the chat. I'm just laughing at the way he's crying. That's all I'm asking about. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, that's the one. There we go. We got it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I was about to ask, guys. Mucha said 12 is young for a cat. Really? I thought cats don't live that long. Again, I don't know that much because I've never owned a pet. I'm one of the stereotypical black people. I don't own pets. I thought 12 was quite old for a cat. Let's fast forward it. It's about somewhere here. There we go.
Crying for pity, donos. It's not because my best friend has...
Okay, 16 is average. Okay, 16 is average. 20 years. Shit, okay, cool.
To die tomorrow. You don't understand it. Like, Rocco's always here with me. He's always right here.
It's funny. No. Look. It's him crying and keep looking over the chat that's getting me. I'm sorry. It's him crying and glancing over at the chat. Sorry, that got me, man. I know it's not good, but that kind of got me. I know I'm a heartless piece of shit, but hey, it is what it is, man. Let's just keep it moving. Let's just go back to the main video. Oh, mate. Big up Wings of Redemption. Big up Wings of Redemption. Big up Wings of Redemption.
Him out in the yard. I want to keep Baby Rocco. Like, it's in here, baby. Like, a couple things I've thought about doing is getting like an urn that looks like a cat, and getting an urn that looks like a cat and putting it right here on my desk where Rocco used to lay. My wife kind of wants a necklace with some of Rocco's ashes in it so she can use it like when we go out and stuff, or like hang it on her wall. Well, I play Final Fantasy on a slower on weight, and I play it on a slower battle speed. Like, it caught me off guard so badly because like Rocco just started acting funny. Like, generally, like when cats hide, like Rocco's never a cat to hide, like ever. So like when he started hiding, like we took him to the vet and we got the bad news from it. Like we did blood work with him and his kidney just tested off the charts. Like they had to actually dilute his blood with water.
Jesus Christ.
To get it to fucking read. And I'm like, oh, that's fucking terrible. Oh, it's been rough. Like I found myself randomly crying throughout the days, like just little shit. Like my wife has like a painting in her office, and back in the day when she was painting it, she got up and walked away, and Rocco walked across the painting, and he left 2 paw marks in the painting. So instead of getting mad at him, we like traced the paw marks and made it part of the painting itself, and we hung it on the wall. And it's like, oh, and it's like the last, I've been dealing with Rocco wanting to get out the house to eat grass, and like I took Bailey out to use the bathroom, and it hit me with the thought that I didn't have to worry about that now, and it made me sad. But on the bright side, I can wear a 3X shirt now.
Jesus Christ. I just don't get. The only thing I don't understand about Wings is just interesting about this fight. I just don't understand why he just didn't hire a trainer. Just for this short period of time. Like, why do it on your... Why do the boxing training by yourself? Forget losing weight. Just to, like, fight and shit. Like, this is the only thing I don't understand. Like, why didn't he hire a trainer just so he can do some pad work 3 times a week? That's it. Nothing too crazy. Forget losing weight and stuff. That's never going to happen. Wings is Wings. But just some pad work. Like, why didn't he do that? Eddie D says, yeah, they just want the money. That's all they care. Okay, cool. That makes sense. Yeah. Because they're getting paid 10 grand. I don't know. Maybe I'm in the minority here. But I think Wings should be getting more than 10 grand. He's obviously a bit of a low cow, but I think Wings deserves more than 10 grand. Wings and Boogie deserves more than 10 grand. Personally for me. I think they deserve like at least 50k for the fight. I would say. Considering the amount of videos and content that's going to be made out of the fight. Like, the attention it's going to bring, online especially. They deserve more than 10,000. That's what they're meant to be making. I think they deserve more than 10,000 each, personally. That's not enough. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's only 10k because I think someone got a screenshot of either Keemstar's DMs or Wings. No, I think it was Wings' DMs. Wings had his Twitter DMs on the screen, and somebody took a screenshot of it, and you could see Keemstar talking about the money and how much they're gonna get paid and shit in the DMs, and he said 10k. Obviously, it's 10k, but Wings is providing the flights. He's paying for Wings' flights and the flights of his wife, Kelly. And he's also going to pay for their accommodation. So it's not that bad. But still, 10k is too less. It's too little, sorry. I think if you're Wings and Boogie, you should demand at least, if it was me, at least 20. But I think 50 is fair. 50K for each of them is fair, personally.
I'm not out of breath. Get my potion back. Yes. He stole a potion.
The yawning is hilarious, man. The yawning and dead air is brilliant for me. I love it.
Watch my first playthrough of Dark Souls. Rocco's watched a lot of Dark Souls though, or at least he was here with me for a lot.
The chat purposely trolling him and trying to make him sad is fucking awful. But yeah. Anyway, that's where we're gonna leave him. I think that's basically it. He kind of, you know, these compilations are quite short, but they still have been bore me to death. But yeah, big up Wings, R.I.P. Rocco, R.I.P. Rocco. Before we continue, I quickly just saw this. I wanted to quickly talk about this. Let's just talk about this quickly because I'm curious. Like, what's the deal with this guy? I want to know. Do you think he's trying to lean into the meme, lean into the joke? Or is this just his true self screaming from the inside and he can't hide it? I want to know what the stream chat thinks, because considering everything that's going on, this is a strange video to be posting up online. You would think so. Let's see if I can find it here quickly. Where is it? It was from 10 hours ago, wasn't it? Yeah, there we go, here. What do you think's happening here with Steven Crowder? Why is he doing this? Is he trying to lean into the meme? Or is this just his level of banter? Or is this like, you know, his true self, like I said before, screaming inside, like trying to escape? And he can't contain it. He can't contain it. You can't put a lid on who you actually are. And it's just like, you know, manifesting in this strange video that he uploaded on his fucking Twitter. Like, what's going on here? Let it load a minute. My computer's slow. Please bear with me. What is happening here? Come on. What's going on here? What are we doing here? There. What's that? It's like, what the deal was that? Can someone explain? What's happening here? Does he find this stuff funny? Is this what he wants to do?
Give me that milk. Give me that milk. Won't you cut? Give it to me. Give me that milk.
Like, that's Bryan Callen, isn't it? Isn't that Bryan Callen? That's Bryan Callen here, isn't it? And who's this? That's Steven Crowder, the one whipping him. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Give me that milk.
Okay, for those of you going to be listening on the audio side of things, there's a video of what looks like Steven Crowder wearing a cowboy outfit, you know, leather vest with no t-shirt, standard cowboy shit, Berlin techno cowboy, and it's got Bryan Callen, you know, bent over with his bum and wearing a cow suit, a cow onesie, pajamas or something, and it's in a green screen, so I guess they're going to add some things into it, like... If you're into this type of stuff, cool, this is your kink, go off, do your thing. But if this is how you're making money, if this is your job, like, for Bryan, if it wasn't embarrassing enough having to work alongside Brendan Shaw week in, week out, have your, you know, just when his Hollywood career was just about getting on his feet, he just was starting to see some traction, and then suddenly he gets hit with the rape accusations and it all kind of goes away. That's kind of hard to take. Cool, you bounce back, you have your podcast, you do the thing you're doing with Sam Tripoli, you try and, you know, make sure you keep your head above water and stuff, you're still performing, you're doing shows and shit. Why isn't that enough? Why aren't you just happy with that? That should be that's a decent gigs, those are decent things to have, especially considering the accusations that he's got on his jacket. I think still being able to make money from podcasting and still be able to do some shows, that should be enough. You should be content. I think so. You should be content. But you look for other ventures, other opportunities to make some money, and now you're dressed like a cow, with bent over, exposing your bum to Steven Crowder as he whips you for content. I'd rather work in Walmart. I'd rather be bagging groceries. That's why every day I thank the Lord above that I'm a regular civilian. Being a regular civilian that doesn't get jokes is the best thing ever. Because this is okay if you start like this. This is who you are. But Bryan Callen was a legit Hollywood actor, right? What's that thing he was in? 40-Year-Old Virgin? No, what was it called? No. What's that fucking movie he was in? Where they all get drunk on a fucking stag do or something. Oh, what was it called? Do you guys know? What's that movie fucking Bryan Callen was in? That famous one he was in? Where he's in Hangover, that's it. Thank you, Koila. Bryan Callen's a legit Hollywood guy. Like I know he looks like a bit of a loser now, but that guy is like legit as they come. Comedic actor from the times that he was doing that news radio show. Like he's legit as they come. Imagine going from that to this. I'd rather bag groceries. I don't give a fuck. I'm humble enough to accept that. That means I pay my bills, I look after my kids, they can keep going private school, whatever job that needs to be done that doesn't make me do this shit, I will be doing it because this is not correct. This is not correct. The Rinks, maybe they are filming a movie. Touche.
Give me that milk. Give me that milk. Won't you give it to me?
That's so embarrassing. I just realized that was Callen just now. I was like, hold on, I recognize that voice. That raspy, rapey old man voice. Like I've noticed it for anywhere. Anyway, I guess, if he's happy doing it, then what can we do? I guess if he's happy, we should be happy for him in some respects. Moving on from that, let's talk about this quickly because this still makes me laugh to this day. I need to play it one more time. Imagine your whole life crumbling down because of this.
Gotta get some yayo, double up, nigga. You know what you need, like. Gotta get some yayo, double up, nigga. You know what you need, like. Gotta get some yayo, double up, nigga. You know what you need, like.
By the way, in case you haven't realized, I am fascinated by how quickly some of these like entertainment media podcast, whatever figures you want to call them, can go from here to here. Like I'm fascinated by the fucking when it just falls apart because it usually happens over something very innocuous. Something that you didn't think was a big deal, something that you thought you could swept under the rug, and it legitimately spirals out of control to the point where now people are saying that the stock, whoever owns Barstool now, their stock prices have gone down. What's his face? Dave Portnoy's on Twitter berating fans, gaslighting them, telling them they don't know what they're talking about and shit. It's caused a lot of upheaval. And from what I've understood about this MINTZY dude, that's his name there, right? MINTZY, right? From what, again, I only watch Barstool here and there, but he was always kind of like the office punching bag. They kind of degenerate gambler guy. They kind of all took the piss out of, but he didn't mind laughing at himself and shit. So the fact that this one dude getting fired from Barstool has set off such a chain reaction of events is something that I'm just fascinated in, and just the nature of the mistake. A random innocuous stream where you say this and your life gets all crazy for me. The guy here looks like he's black with an afro. I think he's the one that reacts a little bit and he gets nervous for him.
Gotta get some yayo, double up, nigga. You know what you need, like.
Cut the stream.
Gotta get some yayo, double up, nigga. You know what you need.
Look at the eyes. It's the fear. He knew right then at that moment, man. Like, bless him anyway. Keep your head up, MINTZY. I don't think you should have been fired for this. I think this is an overreaction, but again, another example of like Dave Portnoy's influence and kind of, you know, control of Barstool Sports is gone. Now that he sold the company to whoever he sold it to, they have way more say-so in the day-to-day of the business, which makes sense. If you pay, I think they paid like 300 million for Barstool Sports. If I pay 300 million for something, I'm going to tell you who you can hire and fire for sure. So I get it from their point of view, but it's a bit sad, you know, in terms of him getting let go for that, because I think he was innocuous. The guy isn't racist. I don't give a fuck. Say the N-word if you want in a rap lyric. I don't care. But, you know, it is what it is, I guess. It kind of is what it is. So keep your head up, Mintzy, wherever you are, brother. Keep your head up. In another instance of when you fuck up the bag, I was saying, yeah, of course, yeah, yes, Uche, of course I've seen it. That's next coming up now. Next coming, we're going to get right into that. We're going to get right into that, Uche. Of course we are. Crowder cutting off CALLEN'S back, of course. One quickly mentioned before that, in another instance of somebody fucking up the bag and messing up their position, this is it. I know some of you guys don't care about No Jumper, you don't watch it, but I do and I like it. And one of the guys associated with No Jumper, DOKNOW, he's kind of got his own podcast called Brown Bag Podcast, and Brown Bag Podcast is what it says on the tin. I think they're all Mexican, but essentially it's kind of like one of those kind of Mexican cultural podcasts where they interview people from, I guess, the Mexican and Latina culture and stuff and whatever it may be. And it's done pretty well, to the point where they got signed, actually, right? Brown Bag Podcast, as you can see here via the screen. They got signed by LA's Power 106 to do a show on there. So imagine a podcast that you're doing on YouTube, you're getting your ads money, you're doing some brand deals and shit, but then suddenly a legit radio station in LA's Power 106, the biggest radio station out there on the West Coast, says, hey, come on, do some morning shows, and we're going to put it under the name of Brown Bag Mornings. And as you can see here on this article, it says Morello Media, Arithmetic, CHR, Power 1 FM debuts his third new morning show in 3.5 years with launch of Brown Bag, which features Letty Panetti Martinez, who was part of the previous Power morning show, Ross Cranvic, and DOKNOW. The trio will be hosting a podcast of the same name since 2021. So it's a pretty big boss move, especially off the back of DOKNOW basically leaving No Jumper, off the back of what happened with T-Row and AD and stuff. It was a pretty good move, right? You loved it, right? Good to see. But then out of nowhere, just the other day out of nowhere, look what they posted on the Instagram. They posted this: Brown Bag Podcast is going on hiatus as we plan out the future. We will update you guys as soon as we can. And they turned off the comments, so no comments, so you can't comment on it, just likes on that one post so no one can gossip and talk about it. And everyone's thinking, what's happening? What's going on? But then I remembered a few weeks ago, maybe a couple of days ago actually, Brown Bag Podcast on Power 106 had an opportunity to interview Oscar De La Hoya. And for some reason, after the show, DOKNOW decided to post this on his Instagram once they finished interviewing Oscar De La Hoya on their show. He posted as this on his caption with a picture of them together with Oscar. He said this: sat down with Cokehead that made it, unlike my dad, and did a dope interview with the Brown Bag Pod. He was trying to sniff us. Shout out to Oscar De La Hoya tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Imagine getting Oscar De La Hoya on your podcast, on your radio show, legit radio show, by the way, and then calling him a cokehead on your Instagram. Obviously he is. We all know what he gets up to. Cool, whatever. But just the unprofessionalism of it is fucking wild. And what makes it funny is that, again, this is what I think overall, the fans are undefeated. The fans are undefeated because if you go on No Jumper Reddit, people have been saying for the longest time that DOKNOW was doing too much. DOKNOW is annoying. He tries to force jokes that aren't funny. He interrupts all the time. He doesn't know shit. They were complaining, some people, why has he even got a hip-hop show on Power 106 when he doesn't listen to hip-hop because his hip-hop knowledge is awful. Even just, even not, black people hip-hop, just whatever hip-hop, he's just not knowledgeable of it in the slightest. And then people are complaining about that and saying that he's basically bad for podcasting and does bad podcasting. And then very soon later, he ends up shooting himself in the foot shooting himself in the foot by writing this utterly insane and incredibly unprofessional caption. Sat down with a cokehead that made it, unlike my dad, which is kind of a joke, right? Self-deprecating joke, because his dad recently died, and I think they're saying he died of an overdose or something, and he might have been a cokehead. Cool, whatever. But then it said, and did a dope interview with him, Brown Bag Pod. He was trying to sniff us, and he added the guy. He tagged him in the post. Can you imagine how unprofessional that is? And obviously, whoever manages Oscar De La Hoya, or just the powers that be over there at Power 106, they probably saw that and said, you know what? It's a wrap for your show. Wrap it up. So the podcast is on pause, and now I've heard the recent episode of Power of Brown Bag podcast, actually, that was also a Brown Bag show that was on in the mornings on Power 106. It was Sans Duno. So the show they did recently, they did it with just these two guys, that Vicarious dude and Letty. No Duno. So clearly Duno's been fired. Crazy business. But also, I don't know if he is where's Oscar De La Hoya from? Is he actually Mexican? Or is he somewhere else? Or is he from Peruvian? Or is he Peruvian, as someone else said it? What's his background? It doesn't say it, does it? Is he Mexican? I don't know. He's American boxer. Let's see what it says here. Is he actually Mexican or is he Peruvian? Let's see. Mexico. Oh, it's okay. He's Mexican. Cool. So I heard, I'm not sure if it's true. Maybe some of you guys in the chat can let me know. I read in the comments somewhere where they said people make too much of a big deal out of Oscar De La Hoya's alleged cocaine use, because they said in some parts of Mexico, maybe Peru and Peru, that people sniff coke, that they smoke weed. Is that true? That's what I was saying. People of that, there's some regions of Mexico and Peru where people legitimately sniff coke as much as the people smoke weed. So the fact that he does it a lot isn't that big of a deal. People do it a lot all the time. They do it while they're eating dinner, while they're at home, while they're washing the dishes, going out. It's not that big of a deal, really. That's why he doesn't think it's an insult when people keep calling him a cokehead, because it just is what they do. Yeah, mid-conversation. Okay, cool. Yeah, they have candy with cocaine in it in Peru. Wow. Okay, cool. Uche, I didn't know that. So that makes sense then, because people always call him a cokehead, but he doesn't seem to be that annoyed by it. So maybe that's the reason why. It's legitimately a lifestyle, you know? It is what it is. But yeah, big up Oscar De La Hoya. Was that 7 Dirty? I sniff coke to do the dishes. Respect to you. To think you can crack a joke like that is very unprofessional. Exactly, a story to tell. Define sniffing. My best friend bought me back some. Hey, De La Hoya is a legend. Not where Oscar's from. He's white and a decent family, I'm guessing. Okay, cool. Okay, whatever. I read it online. It could be a troll. Someone could have been trolling me. We don't know. But anyway, moving on from that one. Let's jump straight into the topic at hand that Uche lovely graciously reminded me of. Wherever I got it here on my tab. There we go. It's right here. So, as most of you guys have known, I think most of you guys have already seen this, but Bryan Callen got the fucking shut up button from Steven Crowder, which is fucking wild. We found out about the shut up button collectively on the internet because of the comedian Dave Landau, who went on, I think it was, what's his name? I don't know the guy's name podcast, but he went on his podcast and basically aired out Steven Crowder and said, hey, this guy's a bad boss, he's a bad colleague, and just an awful person behind the scenes. And he basically spoke about the button that Steven Crowder would press if you wanted Dave Landau specifically to shut the fuck up and make his point. And now we're seeing that button isn't a specific button for Dave Landau. It's clearly, oh yeah, that's it, Michael Malice. Thank you, Teju. That button is definitely made for whoever's meant to sit in that seat, whoever the comic kind of co-host is that sits there with Steven Crowder. When Steven Crowder feels like he's in his motion, he's in his bit, and he's kind of doing his little voices and shit, and he's in his rant, he presses that button so the other person can shut the fuck up and not talk. It's incredibly obnoxious, incredibly rude, and it legitimately would make me want to fight somebody. Bryan Callen's got a clip where he's on the Louder Crowder where he's like, oh, there's some story, maybe I don't know what they're talking about, and he's like, yeah, that makes me so violent, makes me so angry. It's like, no, this should make you angry. If another grown man doesn't have the decency to tell you, hey, would you mind let me finish my point? before you speak or whatever, or just something. Hey, I'm just giving me a minute, or whatever, or maybe just wait, whatever. But instead, of just pushing a button and shutting you up like you're some child, I would legitimately want to fight that person. I would legitimately want to, you know, push a chair in between his fucking earlobes or something, or push it directly through his fucking forehead. That's not cool. So this is a clip taken from Larry Crowder to give some context. They're taking the piss out of this either New Zealand or the Australian politician, and they're trying to mimic his voice. Just realize how horrible the accent is from Stephen Crowder as well. Terrible accent. Let's see him repeat it.
Might be worth something. They're worth nothing here. We won't stand for this sort of ugly behaviour. It's appalling. And I again make the point, it's not about free speech. This is hate speech, plain and simple.
So right away, right? That's always what they use.
Invade them.
It's not free speech. It's hate speech.
Yeah, it's
pure
and
simple.
If you want that, all right. If you want to believe that men have things like cooks, okay?
What kind of accent is that? He's not even funny. So imagine him trying to press a button on you so he can say this shit. This is what he's pressing a button on you for. And you just sit there and take it. That's why all those little memes and insults on the fucking Firing the Kids subreddit where they call Bryan Callen a cuck, I get it now. Because he just takes it up the arse from these guys. Whether he's getting his, whether Brendan's, you know, fucking slapping his face with his dick every single day, interrupting his stories, you know, talking down on him, essentially bullying him in a weird way. And he's 60 years old. He's 20 years Brendan Schaub's fucking senior, and he gets fucking talked down on. He gets rushed off of his topics. He can't correct him because he'd probably end up choking him to death in the studio there. He lets him say some nonsense day to day. Then he goes to Crowder. He thinks he's got a new boss in a safe space, and this guy is flipping, you know, sticking his dick in his earlobe, whipping him in a flipping cow costume, and then pressing a button to tell him to shut the fuck up. Nah, I couldn't have it, man. I couldn't have it. Especially to tell this shitty joke.
I bet you probably think ladies have
ladies.
Huh?
Do you see that? You see how obnoxious he pressed that button? Like he was upset. Mid-rant, he presses it. Mid-rant.
You want that, all right? If you want to believe that men have things like
look at that.
cooks, okay?
Cooks.
I bet you probably think ladies have
ladies.
Huh?
He presses it super hard, super obnoxious. Like, you know, it's like when you're having an argument with your partner and they slam the door to let you know, yeah, fuck you, I hate you. Like, oh, what a piece of shit. But I'm wondering, that button, when you press that button, does the light stay on forever? Like, shut the fuck up, Callen, or shut the fuck up, whoever you are, guest. Or does you have to press it again to turn the light off? Is it like an on-air switch? Like you press it, on air, you take it off and the light goes off. Like, what happens? He's such a piece of shit. It's too good.
Ladies, I bet you probably think ladies have
ladies.
Huh? I bet you probably think that. Look, if you want to be in a place
look how quiet he is. Oh no, look how quiet Bryan is. As soon as that button gets pressed, you don't hear nothing from him again. Let's see how long he doesn't talk. Let's time it. I'm going to actually time it. Let's see how long Bryan Callen stays quiet when fucking, what's his name? Crowder presses the fucking button. Where is it? Stopwatch. I've got a stopwatch up here. Let's see it, right? You see my phone there with a stopwatch?
Ladies, I bet you probably think ladies have
ladies.
Huh? I bet you probably think that. Look, if you want to be in a place where parents can force them to keep their cooks, huh? Or place where there's every type of venomous spider, snake, and shark.
He's not even laughing.
If you want a place that isn't a penal colony that was founded by rapists and murderers who send you as punishment because everything can do, head on over
to
the Key West. I bet you'd like it there better, wouldn't you?
Yes,
you and your cooks.
It's horrible, Joe.
That's not a cook.
Worst lawyer ever.
That guy said something first.
Worst lawyer ever.
Okay, there we go.
I was like, yeah.
He shut him up for 35 seconds. That button shut him up for 35 seconds. So the button's probably like that. It's probably like that on-air button, but it's got shut the fuck up on it or something. Shut the fuck up Rinks. Shut the fuck up rapist or whatever, right? Like spelt rapist as well. Like, you know what I mean? Like, shut the fuck up Lids. He's probably got it right there. He's probably got a little finger on it. Honestly, man, things like this make me so happy to be a regular civilian. This is not life. This is not life. There's nothing about this that's dignified. If this is how you have to make a living, where another man has dressed you up as a cow and whips you, presses a button and tells you to shut the fuck up, forces you to do a rape joke so that you are as morally compromised as he is. Nah, that's not cool, man. That's not cool at all. That's not cool. But I kind of have to, like, in a weird way, I kind of have to respect how much Crowder rules with an iron fist. You know, like, he legitimately rules with an iron fist. Like, the way he runs his household is how he runs his studio. You know exactly who's in charge, and Callen figured that out pretty quickly. Yeah, I mean, you have no say so here. You went click. You press that button super hard, innit? He's such a king. I would never have that in the slightest, man. No amount of money is worth being treated like that, I don't think, day to day. Personally, anyway. But, you know, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's move on to the topics I had me to talk about here. Number one topic we're going to talk about, I want to see is, of course, Bill Burr's review of the Mothership. I want to see what he had to say about it. See, there's a clip here posted on the Just Checking In For You, I guess, no, random, doesn't it? There's two of them, 6 minutes, 11. Let's do the 6 minute one. It's a 6 minute clip here that talked about his experience at the comedy Mothership. I want to hear what he has to say. Let's play it now. Bill Burr on the comedy Mothership. Come on, let's play. Okay, it's kind of loading up now. This is from the Monday Morning Podcast official channel also, so check it out if you want to.
I text everyone. We drive back, you know, we're back in Austin, and I text everyone over at Joe Rogan's new club, the Comedy Mothership. I was going over there to fucking check that place out, which I already saw, like most of you. I saw the videos on the internet. I was like, my God, this place looks amazing. And I went in there, and I'm not gonna even just mince words here. That's the greatest comedy club I've ever fucking been in.
Amazing.
And I've been in some fucking great ones. You know, Caroline's. These are the best ones I was in before Joe's. Caroline's, Hilarities in Cleveland. Comics, the one that when it was in the meatpacking district went out of business. Gotham. The Stand. Those were like so nice. You're like, how is this still a comedy club? Because you're used to them being like smaller.
Yeah, that's like Uche, yeah, you're right. Uche's right. To be fair, Uche said I tried giving his podcast an honest listen, but 20 minutes in, he was still talking about sports, had to bounce. Yeah. I've told you guys before that I love Bill Burr's podcast. It's one of my favorites. I listen to it all the time. It was definitely my inspiration when I started doing mine, especially because I do mine mostly solo. So I kind of got a little bit of inspiration from him and had to kind of keep, you know, talking and rambling about shit. But Bill Burr's is an acquired taste, especially because of how hardcore he's into sports. I love sports. I love football, but I don't talk about it a lot on my podcast. I know a lot of people don't like it, and it turns people off if you don't like sports. It's the one thing that can kind of get people to just stop listening. But Bill Burr doesn't care. When he starts ranting about sports, he gets into the minutiae of shit and starts going on and on and on. It can be hard to kind of follow along. So I'm not surprised that some people may not be, you know, it's hard to get into. But like I said, it's an acquired taste. But if you can stick with it, it does get better. It does get better because I do think he's still got one of the best pods out there for people associated with our LA stand-up comedy scene, for me personally, especially in terms of consistency too.
Holes in the wall or whatever, you know? And I went to the Rogan one, and I don't even know where to begin. All I can tell is when you go in that place, you can tell that every fucking thing on the wall, on the floor, on the ceiling, sight lines, everything in that place was painstakingly gone over to make sure that it was absolutely perfect. And that's what I kept telling Joe. He goes,
that's what I don't understand. And I think that's why I think it says more about the state of comedy clubs in general. Because this is quite standard in my area of expertise, which is like clubs and dance music and shit. Being a DJ and an avid fans of fucking clubbing and whatever. But the Berghain and other clubs like of their ilk they kind of set the standard of like how clubs should look. And for the most part, a lot of clubs around the world, especially in major markets, try to create aspects of those clubs in their own club, you know, because they want to basically offer the punters the best possible experience. If it's a sound system, whether it's the DJs who play there, whether it's just the interior, the lighting, the effects and shit, there's a lot that goes into trying to make a club appealing to punters because the bar is so high with places like the BURR and other places around the world. So other clubs have to kind of start to match it. But I guess this goes to speak to how lazy and how, you know, wanting to do the bare minimum these comedy clubs are, that Rogan has come in and just by the flipping benefit of having money and time, he was able to do it all, whatever he was able to correct all the things he's seen in comedy clubs that he doesn't like and kind of build on the things that he does like in clubs. And those little things have gone such a long way. And now you've got all these comedians basically eulogizing about these clubs, which again is nice. Sorry about his club, but it also goes to show that the clubs that they usually perform at must be fucking dumps. Like, they must be so bad. Because I think I remember hearing Joey Diaz say something like, the small detail, like Rogan doesn't let agents and managers come into the green room. I thought that was standard. Like, why would there be agents and managers in a green room before you go and do your show? It's one thing if there's like, because some clubs I've been to, they have like generic green rooms where it's kind of like the VIP background place where you can sit in. But some clubs also have a couple of rooms where the headliners can sit down, you know, go over their set. There's wall plugs and shit. There may be a desk you can work on, whatever, just to kind of get yourself ready before you play your set. Why would they need to be like hangers on and agents there? That should be like a given across all the clubs. But I guess some clubs allow that kind of skeevy behavior to go on. So it probably was really easy for Rogan to crush it out there, despite he obviously did, because the club looks fucking beautiful. Let's not lie. And I can't wait to go out to Austin to go see it for myself. But it does go to show that the standard of comedy clubs in America overall, or the standard of comedy clubs these guys have to perform at, must be so bad that Joe Rogan, just, you know, paying some attention to detail, has made all these guys fall in love with the club so much. Because I'm sure the club's amazing. Like I said, it's definitely amazing. But given how much these guys have been performing, you'd think that they'd seen some of the stuff that Rogan's done before, but some of them haven't.
How do you like the club? And I was like, dude, it is fucking perfect. It's fucking perfect. You have to, like, the colors of the booth, the Mitzi's place, I think that's what it's called, the bar downstairs, the main room, the smaller room. I did sets Saturday and Sunday there in the smaller room, and I love that place. And Harlan Williams, what do you say there, Freckles? He was there in the main room, so I got to see him headline that place. And just the green room, the food, the whole thing was amazing. And I knew that he would have this option. I was like, if a comedian is designing the club, he's going to have the option that you can either deal with the crowd or not deal with the crowd. Meaning, when your set is over, if you want to go out and talk to the crowd, AKA you had a good set. Or maybe you didn't. Maybe you pissed a few people off, and when you go behind the curtain, you just want to stay there, and you can get to the green room without having to deal with anybody. It is fucking amazing. But the coolest thing that combined two huge worlds of mine, stand-up comedy and Stevie Ray Vaughan. Stevie Ray Vaughan, I guess, played that place when it was called the Ritz back in the day. And that's another thing. It was like a punk.
Yeah, he's
club,
loving the place. He's loving it.
For wallpaper in the green room, all like the actual posters of all of these punk bands. You know, Circle Jerks, Misfits, all of these classic bands. I'm not a big punk band guy. I'm not cool. I was listening to disco, as you heard when I was making fun of. I was making fun of the Canadians. But Stevie Ray Vaughan played there in like 1983, and Joe somehow got somebody to find photos of him playing there. And for big Stevie Ray Vaughan fans, it was that time in his career right before he started wearing a cowboy hat on stage, and he had that sort of that not Kango style, I don't know what you call it, like the Bryan Johnson style hat that he had when, you know, right from when he was Stevie Ray Vaughan in Triple Threat, and he had a woman in the band before he got with Chris Layton, Tommy Shannon, Double Trouble, before they added Reese. Yeah, I'm kind of into those guys. Anyway, he had these two amazing, like, life-size photos of Stevie Ray Vaughan. And Stevie Ray Vaughan is like one of those artists that I find transcends what he does. Like, he's so good at what he does, even though you don't, like, you know, I tell jokes, I don't play guitar. He's so fucking good at it. It's like I want to get better at what I like. How do I become the Stevie Ray Vaughan of what I'm doing? Which obviously is impossible. I mean, that guy's a once in a century talent. But it does make you dig deeper and try to get better. So to see those pictures, and also just to know that you're in a place that guy played in. Like, I really feel that when you perform in a place like that, like whatever they did, the magic of it is somewhere there. If you're into that spiritual shit, which I actually am. So I went down there that night. Joe wasn't there, so I had to see him. So I made sure the next night I went down there again to hang out with him.
That's the interesting part, isn't it? I thought Joe was there every night. So again, it goes to show that maybe the big man has just moved on, innit, overall, because I don't know, some people are feeling the vibes, but as much as I enjoy JRE, I'm getting the feeling that Joe may be a little bit, not say burned out or tapped out, but I don't know, he's maybe just enjoying life, because this might be one of the only times that he legitimately has had the opportunity to really enjoy his wealth and money and shit in Austin. Because I feel like I would, again, I know nothing about America, I'm just speaking out my ass here, but I have a feeling he probably gets less bothered in Austin than he would do in LA. Is that right to say? Like, day to day, would Joe get bothered as much as he would do in LA as he's doing in Austin? I feel like in LA he's going to be surrounded by leeches and shit trying to get onto him. Big up, big up, big
Stream
up.
so lit tonight, big ups ago.
Yes, big up, Uche. Thank you for the $5. Appreciate you, my G. Appreciate you. What do you guys think? Thank you, Uche. You're the best. What do you guys think? Do you think Joe gets less bothered at Austin? Because I think so, because LA's full of loads of people trying to make it. They're all desperate. Joe's the biggest thing out there, outside of all the networks and studios and shit. They know he's a kingmaker and whatnot. They just want to get near him. It must be icky to be around it. So I think, because I don't know, this is just me theorizing. I don't know anything what's going on, obviously. But I get the feeling Joe's just enjoying life, man. He's got legitimate money for life. He's never going to be poor again. He's set his kids up for generations to come. He's got the club that's probably going to be able to break even or start making money very soon, because I imagine he spent quite a bit on that club, but he's probably broken even now. He's probably approaching it, starting to make profit. Revenue coming in from that, the podcast, the streams, and the sponsors, the ads. So it's not surprised that he's not there, because some people think he's there every day, but I don't think so. I think the managing of it is definitely that guy, Adam Egert, and he just pops in. When he pops in, he's still probably got an overseeing eye on it, but with that club going, it probably gives him more chance to kind of step back, go away on trips and shit, hang out with his family. I think that happens a lot. I really do.
But Adam Ray.
What's at the rinks? Rogan needs some Tiger whiskey and chill out. Yeah, exactly. I wonder. Oh, you know what I'm curious about? I wonder if this is the fact, because I just thought about it now. Didn't Brendan say that Tiger whiskey's biggest market is Austin, Texas? Am I mistaken on it? Did he say that? What do you guys think? I think he said that. If that's the case, do you think Rogan stocks Tiger whiskey at the fucking, what's it called? At the comedy Mothership? What do you guys think? Someone needs to go to comedy Mothership bar, MINTZY's, and ask, hey, do you guys have some Tiger whiskey? Can I get some Tiger cum, please? Some thick whiskey. What's it called? What's it called again? Tiger thick whiskey. I wonder if that's the case, because that's going to be a big tell if they're still as cool as we think they are. Does Joe Rogan's club stock Brendan Schaub's whiskey? Ooh.
was down there too, one of my favorites, and I met a couple of comedians there. This guy William that was hosting, I never got his last name. He was funny as hell, and then I brought this kid.
Wow, William Montgomery's getting a lot of cosigns. Like, people like the guy. I find him pretty funny on. I find him pretty funny on, what's it called? On Kill Tony, but I would assume he'd be a little bit of a quiet taste for comedians because he's quite silly. So I'm surprised, but I hear a lot of comics like him, like legit like him, you know? What we were saying, AZ, have you? Yes, of course I'm going. The rinks, yeah. Have you ever sorted your tickets out for London, for Schaub? Of course, yeah. I've actually got a ticket. I spent fucking £35 on it as well. Crazy. So let's see. I'll report back and let you know, but I think it's like June 15th or something, so it's still a way to go. But yeah, I've got my tickets for that performance. You're gonna hear from me when that happens, mate. I'm actually hoping it's a good show. Really, I'm hoping it's a good show, but more likely than not, it's not gonna be. Let's see.
That I thought was great. Named Miles Johnson was really funny. Just really, and the club also had open mic night, which is something that went away during my stand-up career. It was how an open mic night was crucial for new comedians, and it was crucial for the comedy clubs to keep, it was like the draft.
Yo, no, it's not from the stream, brother. I work full time. That's where that money comes from. So when I'm not fucking, paying for my electricity bills, there's some coins left over. I wasted some money on some fucking headphones that everyone on the chat hates. And I may have wasted some money on some Brendan Schaub tickets, but, it is what it is. What's money if you can't spend it?
You had to keep developing new comedians to keep the scene alive. And I always felt that one of the big mistakes that so many comedy clubs did was they stopped having open mic nights, and then it just became like the Dust Bowl, where you just keep farming on the same land until it's just,
That's honestly, comedy clubs are so weird. The same thing goes to DJ for like dance music and my scene of things. Why don't they have more open mic nights? What is that about? It's a no-brainer for a comedy club. If you've got a dead time during the week, usually I'm assuming Sundays to Wednesdays, right? Just put on an open mic night and, let it be what it is. And see, and then along the way, if you happen to stumble across some talent, get them signed up, get them as a regular or whatnot, and put them on some shows for the weekend or wherever your peak times are. Why wouldn't you have an open mic night? It's so bizarre. It's not as if you can have headliners performing at your club every day of the week. It's gonna, not people. Number one, have got the money to see headliners every day of the week. Number two, there's not enough headliners to put out every day of the week. And number three, you're also not getting any new talent. Why not have open mics? Again, that's this. As great as Rogan's Club is, the fact that everyone is eulogizing it and praising it so much is just a reflection of just how poor the comedy clubs must be in general, overall, scene wide. I don't go to many, so I don't know what's happening. I only listen to what these guys say and kind of live vicariously through their recommendations. But god damn it, what we were saying here, Jesse, AZ is the black guy who works too much. Yeah, exactly. Who just said Hilarities does a crowd work night and they're becoming comics on the last Sundays every month. Oh, that's how it should be. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Hilarities. I think you actually, Uche mentioned it, somebody else mentioned that. I saw someone on Reddit mentioning it as well, Hilarities. People are saying it's really, really cool. Where is that Hilarities place? Where is it? Where is Hilarities? Where is it? Oh, it's in Cleveland. I see people mentioning this club all the time. Cleveland. Let's go on image. Let's see what it looks like. I like the stage design straight away because I'm a big fan of whatever these are called. What is it? These sort of balcony seating stuff, especially in clubs. I love this or in theaters. This is definitely my vibe. So the seating arrangement already for me peaks. I'm a fan of that. I guess that's how it's kind of laid out with the tables and the booth and the stage. I'm a big fan of that, to be honest. It looks quite nice. I would definitely do a couple of sessions in here. Is it balconies? Mezzanine. Thank you, Austin Casey. Appreciate you. The food's good too. Okay, really? Okay, let's actually see that. Let's actually go to flipping Google here and see what they're saying with the reviews. You said the food's good. Yeah, let's check. Let's see what these bad boys are saying. Austin 4th Street Theater. Hilarities 4th Street Theater. Let's see. Oh, look, the famous store. Oh, no. The famous Rogan store. Look at it. It's got loads of man juice all over that one. Let's see the pictures anyway. Let's see how many people got pictures of the food here. Let's see what it looks like before we move on. Was it photos? Is it here? All. Let's check out the food and see if there's a vibe. Hilarities, gang, gang, gang. Let's scroll down. What we got here? Oh, look. Ooh. Selection of breads. I don't mind that, brother. Straight away. If you give me a selection of breads, I'm obviously involved. Okay, selection of breads, me like it. What else do we have here? You got pictures. Nice, a Christmas tree here, some neon lighting, some signs. You've got what's his name, Josh Wolf out here with some friends, hanging out, pulling comedy. I love a good comedy guy face. Why don't you just all smile normally? Like all comedians have like the comedy face. What's with the comedy face? Someone needs to tell me that. Why don't they just smile? Like, oh, thumbs up. Why all the time comedy face, please? Okay, more pictures of the inside. Oh, we got some drinks here. I'm not a fan of drinks with plastic cups, to be fair, but I guess in the comedy club with people saying some racist shit on stage, you can't be giving people glass cups. I understand it, or glasses, right? In any way, shape or form. You get a plastic cup and you'd be happy with it, but getting a fucking, a shot of whiskey or some, whatever else there in a fucking plastic cup is just horrible. But hey, it is what it is. Oh, I like the bar. Look at that. Oh, ho, 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 ho. The bar upstairs. Is that upstairs or downstairs? I'm not sure what it is. That bar looks lovely. I love the look at the bar. Jay Farrow there. Some Christmas trees. Some more pictures of drinks here. Oh, they got steaks and shit. They serve steaks in this comedy club. Are you for real? They serve steaks. Fucking wow. This is amazing. I love this. Carpeted floors also. I'm a big fan of this. This is going to make it warm. It's going to make the acoustics in this club spectacular, for real. And it's going to have this unique smell. It's going to smell like a bingo hall. I love that shit, like old pubs, like with carpeted floors that have been steam cleaned a few times, but it doesn't matter. There's still the must and that fucking, it just holds in there. I like it. Okay, who's this on stage? I don't know who that is. I want to see some more pictures of the food, though. People are getting so fucked up in this place. They don't post a picture of the food. This guy looks like he enjoyed the beer. Right? Nice. Give me Bert Kreischer poster, of course. Lovely. I want to see a picture of the food. Oh, look at that. That looks yummy, innit? What do we have here? We have some chicken, some pasta, looks like. Potato, asparagus. That looks like that's... honestly, you guys are eating this at comedy clubs. That's like a meal to go to sleep. Honestly, that's honestly a meal to go to sleep. There's no way that I'm gonna fucking eat that and be able to, keep my attention on the fucking person on the stage. Wow, fucking hell, that is legit with beer as well. Like, okay. Ooh, what is this? Are these chicken wings? What is that? Is that chicken wings? Is that something else? Chicken strips with some potato chips, or maybe what they call them, those wedge fries things. That might be coleslaw, I think there. Ooh, me likey. Look at that picture of a drink. Okay, this looks good though. I kind of get the vibe, to be fair. This looks really good. I'm not gonna lie. Hilarities in Cleveland looks fucking awesome. I'm not gonna lie, this looks kind of fun. I think Uche was right. She sold it to me, mate. I'm sold. Hilarities looks awesome. Oh, look at that. Are those some fish fingers, or what is that? Onion rings you got there? I'm assuming. Is that calamari? I don't really know. Maybe it is calamari. Maybe it's onion rings. Who knows? What do you think that is? Onion rings or calamari? I'm assuming onion rings. And then some more pictures here. Okay, the club is the only redeeming quality of Cleveland. Otherwise, stay far away. Okay, fair play. Onion rings. Okay, cool. Okay, it looks good, man. Looks good. I like it. I think everyone else likes it too. Clearly, based on the things. Let's take that off the screen because I'm getting hungry now. Looking at all that calamari. Okay, cool. Let's move on with that one. But yeah, big up Hilarities. Big up Bill Burr for his review of the comedy Mothership. And then we have to talk about next thing here I want to see is, I actually want to hear from these guys. I haven't seen this yet. It's a clip from Your Mum's House, actually, where they're talking about the comedy Mothership. Let's see what they have to say. This is courtesy of Your Mum's House clips. Let's see what their impression of the Mothership was before we move on to the other stuff. Come on, let's go up. Come on, brother, hurry up, please. Let's see what Tom Segura and Christina P had to say.
Yeah, I had a really good, and both of us did. Finally, we got to check out the comedy Mothership.
Shout out to Joseph Rogan. He
wow, bro.
Since before I moved here, he was talking about doing this. Then there was a venue that fell through. So that was the whole thing. Oh, I'm doing it. And then that venue fell through. The other one that he was going to get.
Yes.
Then is that true about the venue that fell through, by the way? That allegedly that venue was like on some back street somewhere. So it wouldn't have done well anyway. So actually it was a blessing in disguise. The other one flipping got cancelled.
Remember when he got this, and then it was like, now the build will take place. And that was a long process. I mean, this has been a process.
Years.
I saw this thing when it was gutted, the building when it was gutted out. And he was like, this is what it's going to be. And it was just like a vision, but I was like, okay. Then, I don't know, a year later, I saw it like at the halfway stage or something. Then I saw it about 80% done, and then I hadn't seen it. And then it opened while I think we were out of town. And then you did it one night, and then I finally got to do it on your night. I actually went on your night. And yeah, he nailed it. It's fucking awesome.
It's incredible. Everything is utter perfection.
Yeah.
And it's because he's been a comic
Comedian
for
for
so
30
many
years,
years.
yeah.
And finally, one of us has made a club, so he knows. I mean, the detail, even what I love is the main stage, the Fat Man. Right behind the curtain where the performer, you wait as a performer to go out on stage, you part the curtains and you go out. He even put a chair behind that curtain, just in a cubby, so that you're alone to collect your thoughts.
Right, shit that most clubs don't think about.
Don't even, like...
That is really bad. Again, considering what these again, some of us aren't fans of these people, but considering what value these comedians bring to clubs and just the money they bring and the flipping people they bring into the building and the they have to raise a profile, you would assume some of these clubs would invest some of the monies they make from having these guys in their clubs and just invest it back into the flipping club, innit? Just to spruce it up a bit. I don't know, maybe, you know, order some new chairs for the green room, maybe have these little bits and pieces behind the stage where they can have some privacy, whatever it may be. All these type of little things should be a no-brainer, really, don't you think? Big up Austin Casey.
Tom looks like he's a guy with hair wearing one of those bald cap costume things.
Big up Austin Casey. That's the most accurate description of Tom Segura I've ever heard. I legitimately, that's so true. That is so fucking true. That is so true. He does look like one of those guys that wears those bald caps. Yeah, he looks like when fucking what's his face? When Jeremiah Watkins, is it Watkins? Jeremiah Watkins, when he does an impression of Joe Rogan from Kill Tony. He always makes me laugh when he dresses up as Joe Rogan and he puts the fucking bald cap on. Do you remember that? Right? Like, oh, mate. That's amazing, man. It really is. It's such a shame, though, because Tom Segura looks amazing. He lost so much weight. But I guess some people are just not used to seeing him skinny and fit. So it takes a while to get used to it. But that's the hassle when you're a big guy and then you suddenly lose a lot of weight. Like, people, it takes time for them to kind of, their eyes to process it. But yeah, that's so accurate. Big up Austin Casey. I can't believe it. That's amazing. Yeah. What were you saying? So someone said something about the money. What's the thing? Josie Master says, AZ, it probably costs millions of dollars to pen one of these places and probably ran out of yeah, okay, Josie Masters, you're completely right. Don't get me wrong. I understand what the premise is here. Rogan has more money than God, and he legitimately has money from Spotify that he probably just is using just to open the club up, like free money. So it's just like he spared no expense. I'm pretty sure he got wood imported from fucking Japan and shit to install there. I get that. Don't get me wrong. But I just think the little tweaks, the little things that he's considering don't cost much. Like what Christina P said about having a little store behind the flipping curtain so that they can quickly sit down and quickly note some stuff that they want to talk about or run through their set. These are things that you're not going to cost you any money. To have a fucking, I think Joey Diaz says the green room for the comics, or just a room for the comics, has a code on it that you have to enter in, and it's locked, and there's a security there, so if you don't have the code you can't get inside. Like those things, that doesn't cost much to install a little lock thing on the door, so only that's minor. But they don't do it because, you know, why would you do it if you're already making money just having a shitty club that serves chicken fingers, hey, another chicken finger mention, and whatever it may be. If you can get away with it, you can get away with it. Anyway, let's get back to the clip. But yeah, you're right, Josie. You're right.
That is so specific, a detail that only a comedian who's seasoned understands. And I think too, it's just been lovely for us to have a community again, which we've all lost because of moving and this and that. And it's just lovely to hang out with like degenerates and again.
Excited
so
crowds,
fun.
like crowds
they're
that
pumped.
are stoked to be there. I mean, oh my God, I was an unannounced guest at your show.
Yeah.
It was a wild reception. I mean,
they were awesome.
Yeah, that was the craziest reception
They stood
I've ever
up
had
when
at a
you
club.
got out.
It's crazy.
It was nuts.
But I would also say this: I was watching people's sets, and it's just fun to be in that real club environment.
Yeah,
and
goddamn.
everybody was Everybody came off stage with a smile, whether they were like a door guy or door girl doing 5 minutes,
Oh my gosh.
or someone like Ron White who was popping in doing spots.
Ron White.
Everybody's having a good time. I would highly encourage comedians to come here, but also just to do your weekend, like book weekends. Do it at Comedy Mothership.
Oh, dog.
Like, let them know if you're
Don't worry, mate. He's got enough people knocking at his door. Joe's been inundated with it. I think. No, I wouldn't go as far. But I was gonna say that I think Joe might be getting more hassle for the club, having people text him, messaging him, trying to get spots there, than people trying to get on a podcast. I don't think that's true, because the podcast appeals to a wider population of people and whatnot, whatever. But still, he must be getting absolutely bothered until, nothing. For sure, he must be getting bothered. He must have had to change his phone number a couple of times because of the comedy club. So he's probably not short of options. But I'm curious to see who's going to be the first person to film a special there. That's what I want to see. Who's going to be the first comedian to film their special? Naturally, it should be Joe Rogan. But outside of Rogan, who's going to be a first comic to have their comedy special filmed there? Because I think it's going to look amazing in there, to be fair. How small it is and shit. Like, it's going to have a great vibe. Because I feel like in general, if you do want to make a good comedy special, having it in an arena or in a theater doesn't really resonate for me. That's why I was... actually, I lie. I really like that comedy special that fucking Sebastian Maniscalco did, where he's wearing the white and black. He's got the kind of tuxedo-y type shirt thing on. I really enjoyed that, and that was in a massive theater type place. That came across pretty well.
a comic that you want to work there because it's hot and it's fun. It's really fun. It reminds me of like the great clubs in the country where you're like, when you go to Comedy Works in Denver or Acme in Minneapolis, where you're like, man, that was fun as shit.
It's fire.
It's the same kind of vibe there. Like audiences that are stoked to be there and know how to behave. And they take their phones. All the bullshit that you wish happens there.
And
the taking the phones thing is the only thing that's a bit wild. I think they could get away with taping people's cameras and shit like they do in Berghain in most clubs that I go to, but taking away the phones is a little bit wild. But I understand it. It's kind of like, it's giving sex club. Do you know what I mean? Like, really? It's a bit excessive. It's a bit much, to be completely honest, but I understand it.
Look, you know what? It's everything down to every detail. He even has the waitresses that are so skilled.
Yeah.
That you don't even know when the check drop is
No
happening.
idea.
You're like, wait, what?
No.
So good. And it's just, the attention. I almost cried when I was like, oh my God, finally, there's a.
What's a check drop, by the way? I don't know. What the fuck is a check drop? Check drop comedy. What is that? Start with the material. What is a check drop set? For those that don't know, a check drop set is when a comedian is performing while the wait staff is giving the audience their bills. What? Why is that a thing? I don't understand it. Isn't that just like a show? For those that don't know, a check drop is when a comedian is performing while the wait staff is giving the audience their bills or checks, running credit cards and bringing audience change. So when the waitresses are giving people food and their drinks, and then they're also taking payment or saying if you want to run a tab, the comedian's obviously performing or whoever's hosting is doing the thing. Why is it called a check set? A check drop? Check? I don't get that. Oh, it's a 10 minutes. Oh, duh. Sorry, I had a proper double digit IQ moment there. Thank you, Uche and KHALYLA and everyone else, and Trisha G for setting me straight here. Okay, they tried to do it before. Okay. So it's like a fine. Okay, I get this. So in this case, how Christina P saying it, she's saying that it's amazing there because it's seamless, so it doesn't feel weird and stuff, right? Okay, I see. So it doesn't. Okay, yeah, AZ, they do it in a way that doesn't disrupt the show. Okay, I understand. I had a double digit IQ moment there, guys. Apologies. I had to fucking Google it. What does check set mean? Anyway, let's go back to.
Club for us, it's perfect.
It's really exciting. It's fucking
perfect.
fun as shit, man.
Okay, yeah, I get mean KHALYLA, yeah, but the comic knows people are distracted, that's so it's awkward. Okay, cool. I totally understand you. Thank you everybody for the clarification. Appreciate you all.
Perfection.
Yeah,
nailed it.
Get over there.
Get over there, dog.
Get over there, 6th Street in Austin, Texas, baby. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's the best club in the country. I really think it is.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
In the world, I don't think I've done anything like that.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Do you guys think there's going to be now a whole group of comedians who are going to start wanting to open their own clubs? I've got a feeling so. I've got a feeling that's going to happen, especially considering how many sets you can do at your own club, and obviously the clout it brings. I've got a feeling some comedians are going to be like, you know what, I'm going to do mine as well, because they could easily pull together their resources, their monies, right? They don't have to do it on their own. They could do it. Okay, Uche says none of them could afford it. I don't mean it. Yeah, you're probably right, but I don't mean it to like the level of Rogan, because he's basically just done what his dream, what a club would be, and kind of spunked it on it. But I just mean just like a regular club, innit? Just build it from the ground up, maybe a little hole in the wall, nothing too crazy, but just somewhere you can go and perform, and you can cultivate a little scene. Josie Master, Luis J. Gomez was trying to get his fans to invest in one for him. Whoa, that's not the right way to go about things. Not get fans involved in that one. You got to pull that from your own pocket. Bodybuilding says comedians are lazy, so no, true. So to tell says facts, Uche. Derek says, could the Mothership be franchised out? No, I don't think he's going to franchise it out. The same way he never franchised his podcast. Rogan is very particular about that thing. He likes to do stuff himself and whatnot and keep it indie. So I don't think that will happen personally. I don't think Rogan will franchise it out. He'll probably quit the podcast first before he franchised the fucking comedy club. Yeah, KHALYLA says, aren't comics? Yeah, that's true. Everyone is saying no. Comics are inherently lazy, says KHALYLA. That's true. I agree. Big risk, IMO. True, Uche. Well, I think who gives a F? I just want to go to the sleazy Grammy club. Uncle Joey puts in a Italian American club. Okay. Fair. Okay, cool. So I guess most of you guys don't think so. Austin Case says Red Band's part owner. Yeah, I've seen that other club use a part owner. You try clearing tables quietly and clearing checks in the dark. Okay, cool. All right, cool. I see what you guys mean. You're probably right. There's probably a lot of work to do, and like I said, it's probably a lot of money day to day. Anyway, moving on. Let's jump on to what Eric Griffin had to say about the comedy club. because he went there and performed, and unfortunately on the golden hour he wasn't given the time to actually say how he felt, and he maybe felt a bit guilty because his two co-hosts are what you would imagine. Chris D'Elia at one point and Brendan Schaub at one point were probably closer to Joe Rogan than Eric Griffin was. So it was a surprise to me that Eric Griffin got booked there before them. But when you consider the context, the fact that D'Elia is, you know, post diddling accusations and lengthy YouTube documentaries talking about how much of a pest he is, it probably wasn't going to be anytime soon he's going to be on Joe Rogan's Comedy Club, considering how Joe Rogan now is averse to having anybody too controversial around him. And Brendan, with all the drama going around him, and Brendan, you know, and Rogan and Brendan's relationship being a bit on the rocks, it probably made sense also. But you can imagine it kind of just cut deep still that he got booked. So when Eric Griffin did get booked, I'm really interested to see what his impression of the club was, because he's a bit of a hater and he's a quite bitter and, you know, just a hate-filled man in general anyway. So let's see if his heart was warmed that now he got invited, because at one point Eric Griffin was kind of taking the piss out of, you know, the comedy Mothership. Remember on the golden hour he was like, oh, have you guys heard about the Mothership, right? He was kind of mocking it in a way, and then out of the blue he gets booked in there. So I wonder now if his tune has changed the same way his tune changed about Brendan when Brendan started paying him money. Let's see. Come on, Eric, give us the lowdown, brother. Let us know what's the deal. Let us know. What did you think of the comedy Mothership, Eric Griffin? Please tell us. Let's see here. It's from the episode number 231 of Riffin with Griffin. I think he's got timestamps here. Yes, he has. Hallelujah. And we're going to scrub across when this video loads and my computer starts being slow. Please bear with me. Please bear with me. It's loading now. And
what are we doing? Oh, yeah. Cool. Today's show is brought to you by Door.
There you go. Cool. There you go. Boom. It's loaded up there. Let's see what he says. Mothership Austin.
He got me this hat.
Who got his hat? Who got the hat for him? Rogan. Let's play it from the start. Come on, computer.
Austin. Woo-wee! Howdy, cowboys. Possum in the gun bush. And so shout out to Smance. Check out Smance on Twitch. Fantastic gamer. He got me this hat. He got me this hat. He actually got matching hats for me and Rachel. First of all, let me tell you something that Rachel did. So what I didn't know is my boy Smance out in Austin, he hit up Rachel on Instagram and was like, hey, I want to buy Eric a cowboy hat. You know what I mean? Can you tell me his size? And Rachel, being Rachel, was like, oh, well, here's his size. But you know what would be really great is if you got me a hat too. Like, it can't just be about me. You know what I mean? So this woman, and so, all right.
Random Twitch guy DMing your wife and asking her about your hat size. Dicey. Tad bit dicey.
And I didn't know this, and he didn't tell me, right? So then he shows up with the hats, and I'm like, oh, man, this is great, man. Thank you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure he showed up with the hats.
I'm a hat guy now. Look at that. That looks good. It ain't bad, huh?
It's better than that fucking fat boy hat he had on. What's that hat called? He had that hat that there's that meme of that fat guy that's like smiling. You know, that he had that hat on. So this is much better, to be fair.
And it ain't bad, right? And so I get home and I want to surprise Rachel. And I'm like, babe, turn around. You know, I take it out of my bag. I put my hat on, and then I'm holding her hat. And she turns around and she's like, oh, yay. You're right. But then she tells me, she's like, well, I already knew. You already knew? You got me doing this whole surprise thing, and you already knew? I mean, I'm telling you, man. The fact that she made the dude buy her a hat. That's women, y'all. There's a new sheriff in town, y'all, and his name's Sheriff Griffin. Woo, 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 woo.
Ok.
There should be a country version. It's riffing with Griffin on a country road. Riffing with Griffin in a truck. Anyways. Sorry. Man, my voice, it's my sinuses, man. I don't know.
Hey, the old sinuses, eh? After a trip to Austin with the wife, huh? The old sinuses. You know.
Anyways, all right, so I want to talk about, I went to the Mothership in Austin, and shout out to Joe Rogan. What a great club this is, man. If you're ever passing through the Austin area, you got to go check this club out. I've been doing comedy for 20 plus years. I've been to most clubs all over the country. And the vibe and everything about this club, it's the best club in the country. But, you know, it's new, right? So
you had to hate in it. You had to be a little bit of hate in it, a little bit of cynicism. It wouldn't be Erik Griffin without a little bit of cynicism. He gets booked at a club that he probably didn't think he was ever going to get booked at. Previous weeks, he was like, have you guys heard about the comedy Mothership? Right? He was kind of like mocking it in a way. How dare it be a Mothership, as if it's the only club that's important, right? Feeling left out. Then out of the blue, he gets surprised and he gets booked there last minute. Oh shit, I'm booked to the whole weekend. And now he's saying it's the best club he's been to in a while. And at the very end, a little bit of cynicism. But it's new. It's like, come on, Erik, man. Just be happy for once. Fuck, you're so miserable.
So of course, you know, it is, but I'm not going to take anything away from it. So
you just did.
You know, I got
some pictures.
Yeah, man. So here's some pictures from the Mothership. I mean, the attention to detail. That's the green room.
Holy shit. Okay, cool. Fair play then. That's the green room. Holy fuck. If you're not seeing the pictures, he's got like these big, massive leather chairs. Oh, that's the table that Rogan was talking about. Rogan said someone said about the table that Rogan had some wood carving person, some crazy artist online that I think he saw on Instagram that basically hand carve these tables and put all this crazy art on it. And I think this is meant to be like a snake or something, and it's kind of like relief, so it kind of, you know, you can kind of feel it. It's been, you know, all the scales on the fucking snake have been carved in there. It's crazy. It's all kind of done by hand. So Joe got one built bespoke for the fucking green room. Okay, so Josie Masters, and who else said it to me? Uche, everybody else said about, when I said, why don't other comedians have like comedy clubs? This is the reason why. This table's probably like 20 grand and it's in the green room when most people can't see it. No one else can fuck with him. No one else can fuck with him. You know? No one else can fuck with him. That's the problem. He's got a 20 grand table, maybe more, in the green room. Leather sofas, candles, screens, mirrors with like a ring light around them. All you can drink fucking booze. I don't see no Tiger whiskey though. Like all the whiskey you want here. Look at that. Just a whole full table full of them. Like, okay, I get it now. Only Rogan could do this really. Or if you've got loads of money. Most comedians can't afford to do this. This is a lot. Fucking hell, it looks nice. What's here? The ring says, Laugh Out AZ has subscribed Griffin's channel. Am I subscribed to it? Okay, I didn't know. To be fair, when I subscribe to channels, it's not it's just a subscription. It's not an endorsement of me like liking what they do or whatever. It's just, you just subscribe, innit? It's just not that big of a deal really. But I understand what you mean in terms of a comedic effect. I'm here ragging on a guy and I'm subscribed to it. It is what it is. But I'm not gonna dislike his streams or anything. I mean, I just say what I say on the streams. I'll just keep it moving. It's never that deep, but you know, I get you.
So if you're listening right now, you got to go watch. In the green room, they have two different rooms. They got this main room called the Fat Man, and this other room called the Little Boy, which is like a smaller room, holds like 75 or so, and the main room holds like 250. But just like all this art on the wall, all the attention to detail, it's really great. Like that's in the green room. That little.
Oh, I love that security door thing they got, man, to go in. That's pretty sick. I just love that detail. That get it together neon light as well. It's really cool as well. Joey Diaz quote.
Sign right there says, "Get it together, bitch." That's so Joe Rogan if you know him. You know, it's called the Mothership, so there's like sort of like alien artwork all over the place, and it's just like there's this bar called Mintzy's, which is named after Mitzi Shore at the Comedy Store, and the bar is this beautiful thing. That's what the from the balcony, the view of the main room looks like.
Look at that. Look at the green room. Look at all the booze you can eat, all the drink, glasses there ready to go. Probably ice in the, there as well. Some probably more drinks underneath. Just set up nicely for you. Don't have to ask a single question.
That's in the green room. They have this great bar and like all these great pictures. And it's just like, it's clean and the lines.
It looks fucking nice though, to be fair. Even just the kind of waiting reception area place with the screen there so you can see who's performing. It looks fucking cool.
They're great. And like, and so I don't know. I really had a great time. It was 5 sold out shows, and I was like, man, and what I like about the club and what Joe Rogan, the fact that someone like Joe Rogan made this club is because, one, he's got more money than God, right? Well, he got a lot of money for a comic. You know what I mean? He's going to be a billionaire one day. You know what I'm saying? And so he made this club. He's like Willy Wonka. You know what I mean? He's got this amazing stuff that goes on in there, and they got all the, So anyway, my point is this. He's not doing this to make money. This is a thing where he's like, he cares about comedy. Mm-hmm. He cares about the comedy community. He's building a reputation at his club that he's saying to the people in this city, I am going to give you a great show. These are people I think are really funny, and they're going to be on my stage.
That's why I think, great point that he made that, right? That's why I think, personally, I think that Rogan's reputation, again, maybe from the outside, especially from people like me who aren't in America and aren't plugged in and don't go to a lot of comedy shows and just see it from the outside in. I think for a long period of time, many people, especially people that listen to the podcast, maybe didn't respect Rogan's opinion on comedy because of the people he championed and said they were murderers, right? All these friends are murderers. Then you watch their comedy specials on Netflix or wherever they put them on, and you're like, these guys are shit. Apart from the new guys that have entered into his circle, like the Shane Gillises and the Mark Normans of the world, most of the guys associated with Joe Rogan, they're kind of flat to deceive. So everyone's kind of like, hold on, this isn't really this isn't good, this isn't funny. Then you see Rogan's comedy, and again, that's for an acquired taste also. If you're into that kind of shouty, stool humping type of thing, it can be hard to kind of vibe with it. But I think the way that Rogan's approached this comedy Mothership, and unfortunately for Brendan Schaub, the fact that he hasn't invited Brendan Schaub to perform there, just because he probably doesn't think he's funny enough, I think has restored Rogan's reputation, and kind of people now trust him way more. I think so. And maybe the vibe around the place is good because it's not like he's bringing across all of his friends from LA that he was kind of cool with. He's basically selecting people. He's kind of started from scratch and selecting people he actually thinks are funny, and he's trying to run a club. So yes, yeah, exactly. He's restored his comedic integrity. Exactly, case Crash 984. You smashed it there. I think Rogan has restored his comedic integrity. You may not like Joe Rogan's comedy, but you can't lie and say the people he's booking at his flipping club aren't the best. You know what I mean? Like, let's just take a look at it quickly now before we continue on with Erik Griffin. Let's look at the comedy Mothership now, this flipping site, right? Have I got it on there? Yeah, I should have it. Let's see what's upcoming in terms of dates. But I think the way he's approached this, and he started it with a clean slate, he's got the people that he thinks are funny, he's giving people locally chances as well. And even someone like Erik Griffin, I didn't even know, Rogan and Erik Griffin were cool like that, because he doesn't really hang out with Rogan that much or go on a show. But he gave Erik Griffin a show that shows you that, cool, I may not like you, or we may not be super tight and cool, but I still think you're super funny, and I think you should be performing at my club. Boom, and he gets him on there. So we've got Ian Edwards here performing soon. Who else have we got here? Oh no, Ian Edwards performing this weekend actually. We've got open mics happening in Cruise Show, Kill Tony. We've got this is an improv show by Brian Simpson called Bottom of the Barrel. We've got a solid comedy show hosted by Derek Posen and Ehsan Ahmad. We've got a show with Will Montgomery. We've got Holtzman's Heroes. Robert Kelly is doing a show. Oh, Robert Kelly's doing one, sick. Robert Kelly headlines The Fat Man happening soon. We've got Holtzman again there. We've got Doug Stanhope performing. Sam J performing. I don't know who that is, but big up Sam J. Duncan Trussell doing something. Bert Kreischer coming. Andrew Dice Clay, oh, one of my faves. I know it's an acquired taste, but Andrew Dice Clay makes me laugh so much. Legitimately, I think it's super hilarious. So Andrew Dice Clay's there, and he's a legend, of course. You got Greg Fitzsimmons, the most racist comedian in America. He's there. Dave Attell. Oh, look at this. Rogan has restored his comedic integrity for sure. Tom Papa's performing. Dave Smith is performing. Gabriel Fluffy's performing. Come on, brothers. Come on, man. Ari Shafir's got a show. Too much good shit. Rich Voss is performing there July. Wow. Tony Woods. Jim Norton in July as well. Yo, it's too much, man. It's too much. Nick Swardson, right? The guy who's the originator of the FIFA Sutherland, right? Brendan's bit that he stole there. Kill Tony. Like, this legitimately, I think, has restored Joe Rogan's comic integrity. I know he probably doesn't care about that sort of shit, but I think him, unfortunately, denying Brendan opportunity to flip in play there has made people trust him more, to be fair. I think so anyway. I don't know if you guys agree. Let's go back to Eric Griffin and see what he says.
And then the people in that city can go, you know what? Let's go see who's there. As opposed to a lot of clubs.
Yeah, exactly, Shades Cow. First comic to ever be the gateway who could handle this much power and influence and not fumble. That's why I'm always going to be a fan of Rogan, especially in this case, because I said it plenty of times on here before. Give anybody else in that LA stand-up comedy scene. Big up Austin Casey.
Also, just like my earlier comments about Brenda acting like big shit at the Comedy Store, he probably doesn't want Brenda there trying to act that same way at his new club. He just won't have it.
Big up Austin Casey. Fantastic point. Fantastic point. I also think what you said there about not wanting Brendan on there to have that attitude. I think maybe, because as much as people give Rogan stick, he's open to criticism in some respect. So it wouldn't surprise me if Rogan sometimes secretly didn't like how everything went down with him and his crew at the Comedy Store. It was fun while it was there, but maybe some distance, some time away from there made him reflect and think, you know what, maybe we could have gone about things differently. And he maybe regrets how they kind of acted to some people or made the people feel. And now he wants to correct everything in his new club and say, you know what, we're going to start anew. We're going to have an inclusive scene, a scene based on merit, not based on who you know and whatnot, and we're going to go from there and start from fresh. And how you start from fresh is not giving Brendan Schaub a set there because he doesn't deserve him because he's not funny enough. You know what I mean? You just start from that thing. And I think that's all he probably said. I'm legitimately sure. I don't know why I think this, but I'm almost certain that Brendan Schaub knows why Joe Rogan doesn't want to book him at the club. He's probably told him, hey, you're just not funny enough. Just go and get funnier and you perform. But Brendan probably hasn't taken it well and just, you know, gets on his fields. He probably thinks he's the funniest person in the world, blah. But I'm sure Rogan has told him, hey, at the moment you're not funny enough, so it is what it is.
They don't care about building the reputation in their city anymore. All they care about is making money. And that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. And Crash is true too as well. Crash says Rogan was definitely upset, Brendan and Callen. Yeah, exactly. That could also be the fact. Maybe partly my theory is correct, but also partly that maybe when the whole Bobby Lee stuff went down and Rogan's name was involved in it because fucking Callen was going around threatening people using Rogan's name, and maybe Brendan was doing the same thing. Rogan really, because I think Rogan's a little bit insulated from stuff. He kind of, I think, probably runs away from people, changes his phone often, doesn't answer back on texts and shit, lives in his own world because he's got money and he's got clout. He can do what he wants, basically. So maybe that whole KHALYLA and Bobby Lee affair was the first time he realized what was actually going on. He probably was unaware of how people were talking or using his name behind his back, or the vibe that they were putting out there. I mean, he was probably completely unaware because I'm sure everybody when they're around Rogan's on their best behavior. You know? Legitimately, everyone around Rogan is on their best behavior. So he didn't know what was going on. And he probably only got exposed to it when the Bobby Lee and KHALYLA shit went down. And then he said, you know what, changed. So weirdly enough, it's their fault they're not at the club there. If Brendan and Bryan would have just been cool and not done any fuck shit, if Brendan didn't do the truck walk, if he didn't try and fuck, what's his name? If Brendan didn't try and fuck KHALYLA, everything would have been cool. He was too thirsty. He should have drank my water that I have. It's finished. That's what you should have done. You should have had some water. Yo, big up Crash 984. Appreciate it, brother.
Big up Sauce for another awesome stream.
Yeah, big up you. Appreciate the support, bro. Thank you for the super chat.
That's your business model. That's fine. If you want to be a club owner, a manager that all you care about is making money, like, then that's fine. I have no problem with you doing that. But overall,
thanks, Eric.
I have to just say then you don't care about the comedy community. That you don't care about building comics up. Care about bringing.
Do you care about the comedy community when you pick Brendan over Bobby Lee? No.
A great show to your city based off your reputation as a comedy club. Now all you care about is just making money. So then then you're gonna have TikTok stars on stage. You're gonna have people,
former UFC fighters on stage,
people that don't care about the art form on stage because you're like, I gotta sell tickets. And it's supposed to be two-way because the business has turned into, at a lot of places, and they're run by dickheads. I'm not going to do any names because, hey, I'm still in the business, but they know they assholes. They're dickheads. All they care about is ticket counts and drink sales and all this stuff. And there's no building up the young comedy community or even establishing a great reputation. So I have a problem with that. You know, I really just have a problem with that. That's just, I'm not for that. I just think that there should be a mix because a lot of times now the comedy clubs are just all about like, well, what's your social media following? And can you get people on your social media following to come to our club? And then it's just all about that. So then you just got big podcasters and
Brendan Schaub,
you know, whatever, you know, popular people. And then there's nothing about the comedy anymore.
All the things that he credits Brendan for having, an audience, people clearly care about. Remember that clip I played earlier of him basically trying to justify why he maybe hated Brendan before and now he likes him because he's paying him money, but trying to make it, you know, basically trying to make it make sense in his head. A bit of cope was going on there. He was like, oh yeah, it's got his audience. People clearly like him, what he does, blah, blah, blah. Who's to say what's funny? All the things that he's saying in praise of Brendan, he's now using it as a slight in order to say, hey, this is why Rogan's Club is awesome because he's not taking these things into account. Oh, you gotta love Eric Griffin.
Where it doesn't matter, you know, and I get that too, and I'm not necessarily saying there's anything wrong with that because these people have connected with their audience, you know? Like if you're like, you got a big podcast and people have connected with you, they want to come see you. They like your sensibility and they're watching you. But that's not the art form. I'm just saying, remember the art form. Remember people. You get what I'm saying? I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. So.
No, we don't get what you're saying because you're now sitting next to Brendan Schaub, who's the complete opposite of everything you're saying right now. Legitimately. You called it out before, which is a bit weird. But now all of a sudden he pays you and it's different. And now you're going to Rogan's place and now it's different. Bit weird, but I get it.
Would love to hear your comments about that. But I just want to say again, shout out to Joe Rogan. Absolutely fabulous club. It really is a good time. Oh, and here's something that they do that I really love. And I was talking about it with some of the comics there. They lock up your phone. So they have these phone things that are locked up. And you can't get to your phone, you know, while you're at the club. You know, it's locked in a box, in a little bag. But I forgot what the things are called. But your phone is locked up and you can't watch the phone. Let me tell you what this does to the show. It makes people engage. It makes people, when they're walking in the club, now that their phone is gone, they're actually engaging with each other. They're actually looking at other people and they're being like, wow, this is a shared experience, shared community experience right now. And I think that's so important for the show, any show. Come and watch the show. Don't look at your phone. Don't try to take pictures. Don't try to like, oh, let me see what's going on next. when you can actually sit in made for better energy, it just made for better shows.
The funny thing about this is that Eric Griffin is like notorious for always being on his phone on the golden hour. I'm not sure about you guys, but I always feel like on podcasts, if somebody's on their phone, it kind of snaps you out of the moment. And it's weird for me to say this, but I listen to enough podcasts and watch enough live streams that when somebody gets on their phone, it kind of makes you want to touch yours. But if they're just talking and engaging and trying to be funny and doing what they're doing, you just kind of go with the flow, or you maybe have it as background noise and stuff. You don't realize it, and you just listen to the whole entire thing. Whereas when they're always on their phone, it kind of knocks you out, and you get bored, or you start, losing attention or paying attention elsewhere. So it's, you know what I mean? Like it's interesting in podcasting like that. It happens a lot. Like that's why I think Rogan's podcast works really well, because he kind of, actively, before he was very strict about telling people not to use their phones. Now he's kind of like, he doesn't really say too much, and sometimes he'll pull out his own phone to check stuff. But I feel like that's what made Joe Rogan's podcast really good, because it was like 3 hours of like an intense conversation. Like, I remember the Theo Vaughn joke, in it, right? Like, he's never spoken to anyone in his life more than he's spoken to Joe Rogan. But that was what made it awesome. So I find that really interesting and strange. But I just don't know how I feel about the whole magnet pouch thing, because if I'm not mistaken, the pouch is called this now. I think I had it on the picture, right? Joe Rogan Comedy Club phone pouch. I think I showed it to you. I think Chappelle is the one that made it popular, but it's a company that does them. But I'm sure there's other companies that also do them. I forgot the name. Actually, let me write here. It's called this. Let me see. Let me write here. Let's do Dave Chappelle. That's Yonder bags. Thank you, Josie. That's what it's called. These. So this is what he's talking about. So it's these little things, and if I'm not mistaken, the premise around it is that it's this like sock material type thing. I think that's his phone, whatever. You put your phone in it, and it locks with a particular magnet. But then the magnets are usually outside. So if you want to use your phone, you could just go out when you leave the the room that you're in a comedy club, and then you can go and, where your phone is locked up, and then unlock it where it is, use it, and come back. But I guess in some places they lock them permanently there until you're finished, and then you can get your phone. But the premise is you can't use your phone when you're inside the actual theater or wherever the room that you're in where the comedy is happening. You have to kind of go out, so it kind of puts you off, because you have to keep going out, and they usually try and put it in a location that you have to kind of travel a bit to kind of go. But this is what they're doing. But in Berlin clubs, what they do, right? Berlin nightclubs, phone stickers. They usually just put phone stickers over your lens. So Berlin nightclub phone sticker. It's fairly self-explanatory, but I'll just show you anyway. That's what they do usually in Berlin clubs. So it's like, I think you saw it there, right? Already. They put like a little green sticker there. So let's do Berghain. But that's what they usually do on your phone. They'll put a little sticker on it. Okay, no one's got a picture of their phone covered with stickers, but it essentially looks like this. They look like that. So you have your phone as you get, if you do get in past the fucking security and the bouncers, big up Sven, you'll be searched and shit, and then they'll take your phone and they'll put a sticker on it when the phone's in the bucket. They'll put a little sticker like that over top of it and over the front also. And they have obviously security walking around plain clothes, so if you lose your phone, they'll chuck you out straight away. They've got a no tolerance policy on phones. If they put a sticker on your phone and see you taking a picture, you get chucked out straight away. No explanations, no nothing. So obviously it's on you to be, respectful of that. But that's what they do. But big up them. Let's go back to Eric Griffin again. Where is he? There.
I really felt connected with the crowd in a way that I haven't felt in a long time, because there wasn't little lights in the show. I wasn't worried about some Karen, like, oh, let me film this because this joke sounds like it's going to be something that I can get him in trouble for or something. Like, you don't have to worry about none of that. It was
no cameras, no allegations. Hey,
great. So shout out to Joe Rogan once again for a fantastic experience. And, I hope you guys get a chance to see that club. All right.
Cool. That was a review. Very enthusiastic, very positive, very cheerful, a resounding, a really rah review, right? Especially when you think it's one of the most important clubs in America right now or in the world. It's a place where everybody's falling over themselves to try and get a slot there. Everyone's fighting each other. Everyone's pissed off that they can't get up there. They're trying to do all they can to get in Joe's good graces to get a slot there. Erik Griffin gets a slot there out of the blue, and this is his face after the fact. That's his face, looking so dour. Oh, this guy is a funny dude, man. You gotta love Erik Griffin. You really have to love Erik Griffin. Anyway, moving. What people saying here? Which is saying it's the same reason why they tell people to turn off their phones at any regular comedy club. Comics don't want their material to be spent years on developing, being blasted online. Yeah, for sure. I've never been a fan of that stuff. Anyway, people when they secretly record people's comedy sets and shit, I think that's lame. Especially if they tell you not to do it. Like, just respect their wishes, listen to the material, relay it back to your friends, you know, yourself from memory if you can. You're probably going to fuck up the jokes, but recording it is just gross. Or secretly recording it, audio or video, I'm not really a fan of it. The only time I found it funny and I was a fan of it was when that person went and recorded secretly Brendan Schaub performing somewhere. And it was horrible. I think this was before Gringo Pappy came out, and then I think everyone realized, wow, this guy is never going to get any better, is it? Like, it was just, it sounded just what you can, the same sort of material from Gringo Pappy, but it was like, I think it was a couple of years or maybe a few years after You Be Surprised came out, and I guess somebody recorded it secretly at a club and just wanted to just update everybody on how much development or lack of he's had, and it was really startling to see. I was like, fuck, man, this guy's like 6-7 years in and he's still not good. Like, absolutely, like, it's horrible. Oh yeah, it was after. Oh my god, Uche's right. It was after Gringo Pappy. Okay, cool. Even worse. That's the only time I laughed, and that was funny. But I think in general, people should not do that. Personally, I'm not a fan of it. I don't think that's cool. Moving on from that one, before we go on to talking about anything else. Hold on 1 second here. Well, where is it? Where is it? I don't have it. Cool. Before we talk about anything else, I've just seen something on the Fighting Kid subreddit that I need to play here that fucking looks incredible. Because I guess Brendan went to a fight, because he doesn't go to fights usually. He's got this whole thing he says where he says fights give him PTSD because he used to be a fighter, of course, and it brings back bad memories or something, which makes sense, to be fair, especially considering how it ended for him. And he goes, that's his excuse for not going to UFC fights. But we know he doesn't go to UFC events because most likely if he turned up there, Dana White would definitely get him chucked out. Dana White's so petty like that. Same thing if Ariel Helwani turned up at a fight card and shit. I'm sure Dana would make a point to get him escorted out of the building because, you know, he's just fucking petty like that. So I think Brendan just doesn't want to be embarrassed. But there's a clip here somebody uploaded where it said these two really think they're A-list celebrities by a user called Ryan Joseph 82. Let's see this. This is what I think it is. This is fucking incredible. Let's see this. Let's see. Okay, let's see. It's loading up here. Let's get it on the full screen. So I guess for those, again, I'm not really balls deep in MMA or UFC or mixed martial arts, I guess, in general. But I'm assuming Brendan's at the one championship fight, right? There's a one championship card on. I'm guessing that's what he's at. But there's someone posting something. Let's see what they posted here. Pick up the subreddit guy. It's him walking. The funny thing is, somehow, I don't know who they got to record them, but it looks like Brendan's out with his wife, right, for once in a social occasion. Cool, that's good. Not out with the boys on tour, but he looks like they got someone to record them as they're walking in. Who did the wife hand the phone to? Did they have an assistant? Is it the kid, one of the sons? Like who's holding the phone? They're walking in like they're fucking like it's LeBron James and his wife and shit, like, you know what I mean? Like oh fucking oh Brendan, man. This is anyway, you gotta do anyway. I guess when the wife says, you know, we gotta record this video and it's cringy, you just go along with it, but so awkward, look. Loads of affection in that handhold. Oh, someone did shout Brendan's name. Okay, because he always says people shout his name. Someone did actually shout his name. Do you hear? What up, bro? Oh, yuck, man. Have some fucking manners, man.
Carry that jab, boy. Again, 3, 2, 2, 3. Nice. Again, carry the jab. There you go. Again.
Who's
Pressure.
recording this?
I want pressure, Lloyd. I want pressure. Nice.
It's so quiet in there, isn't it? Fucking hell. Shit, yeah, pin drop. Is this like a prelims or something?
There you go. Again. Pressure.
She broke the fourth wall. You're not meant to smile when people are doing this. You're meant to act like no one's there. And why are they recording for so long? She should have cut this earlier or record it before you get to the seat. You know what I mean? Like this is too long. She's not very what's that thing called? Clued up on the whole like content creation part of this life, innit? This is way too long of a clip. And you don't break the fourth wall. You never look back and smile. You don't acknowledge the camera. You just pretend like it's not there. Like, oh, the camera. And just keep it moving. Look how far back the seats are from the octagon. It's so far, isn't it? After all that walking. The seats are not even close to the fucking octagon, it doesn't look like. Or am I bugging out? The octagon looks like it's super far away. Or maybe, is it right there? I don't know.
There you go. Again.
Oh, man, this fucking video, man. It's gonna get... They're gonna destroy these guys in the fucking sub. I don't know. Maybe they are celebrities. I don't really know. This is weird to me. If you're a private citizen or you're a regular civilian and you don't do anything apart from being... I don't know. I don't like talking about the wife too much on the pod, on the stream. You know what I mean? It's not her fault. She's with the guy. It is what it is. Let them enjoy themselves, innit? Let them enjoy themselves. Anyway, moving on. Let's go to the Golden Hour new episode and see how Erik was able to talk about his experience at the Comedy Mothership, or if he was able to do it at all. I have a theory he didn't have an opportunity to do it because he felt guilty that Brendan or Chris haven't been invited yet. But let's see if I'm right. Let's play it here. Recent episode, was it number 27? Or was it? It can't be 27. They must have more episodes than that, right? It's a Golden Hour episode. Oh, it is number 27. Cool. Let's see Erik Griffin is able to talk about his experience at Austin at Joe Rogan's Comedy Mothership. Come on.
No.
All right. Let's fast forward this. Fast forward that.
Amazing.
Okay, cool. Let's go here. Let's see what he says.
He was getting a shake at Erewhon, like in LA. I can't wait to see what hat he's wearing too. And then Erik just got in from Austin. You were at the Mothership?
Yeah.
Okay. And then Erik just got in from Austin. You were at the Mothership?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That okay wasn't the most enthusiastic okay. That doesn't look like an entirely happy man, but I think it's more selfish. I think Chris is happy for Erik, but it just bums him out when he hears the Comedy Mothership because it reminds him of how far his star has fallen and the fact that he's got, fucking numerous documentaries on YouTube. I think there's like more than 3 hour-long documentaries on YouTube talking about how much of a pest Chris D'Elia is, verging on the point of being a fucking cult leader, which he embraces. And a diddler, allegedly, who knows? So maybe every time he hears the Comedy Mothership, he's just like, oh man, I'm never going to perform there. I'm never going to be in superhero movies. It just bums him out. So I think he's happy for Erik, but he's just more bummed out for himself because, comedians, they only think about themselves, right?
Okay. And you said it was amazing.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, dude. I can't wait to see it. And you...
I can't wait to see it. You ain't going to go there.
This guy, you are just...
Great club. Never been there.
Hands in pockets, just...
Yeah, dude, I parked at... Listen.
What?
I parked at the airport. That's how...
Oh.
Because I knew it was going to be like this.
Like what?
Because I had to do... I did Kill Tony last night.
Yeah.
Then I had this really early flight. I didn't sleep well last night.
Of course.
You got to LAX, $300 for parking.
Well, why did you park at LAX? Why didn't you just take an Uber or something like that?
Because it would take.
I guess so. Yeah.
Forever. You know
I guess so. Yeah.
Everybody wants to be on time.
Yeah. Well.
I mean,
how
am I here before you?
Yeah, that's crazy.
He said, "It's a nightmare 101."
Yeah,
So
that
I'm gonna
doesn't
get out
mean-
and walk.
That doesn't mean you go
I
do
get
something
Daddy
else.
gets a shave. Oh no, Daddy gets a shave.
Yeah, what is
I
that
was ready to
shake?
go.
What's
It's
that?
That daddy humor is so bizarre, man. It was funny for a very small amount of time, and then it kind of died straight away. Beat it like a dead horse.
Try it.
No, it's good. It's good. It looks good. I've had them. What is
Nice.
it?
It's time for a haircut too, huh?
Nah, he looks good.
No, bro, I'm
He looks
growing it
good.
out.
Well, don't
man.
grow it out,
Things
right?
Have changed.
Yeah, but don't
Things
grow
are
it
different.
out.
I'm polo guy now.
That's fine.
It's summer
the
polo.
shirt's
guy.
nice.
No, but
See how you can't riff. Instead of riffing on the joke about his hair, because he's probably thin skinned, it doesn't take it too well, he then just switches it to the polo. Just riff. Come on, man. I don't know. Talk about how slobby ERIK looks, or talk about the fact that, you know, Delia looks like a vampire. He hasn't got any blood in his fucking skin. Come on, do something.
These wings that are
Yeah, bro. That's the
Did you have a Red
shit,
Bull or
bro.
something?
Look at me. They're all right.
Thanks, man.
What's with the shake? What's in it?
Oh, I
you got
don't-
it because it matches your shirt?
Yeah, I
Cuck
match
boy,
shake-
dude. Cuck boy, man.
Look, he just sits there, huh? Come on, Brendan. Riff back, you're a comedian. Come on, play. Tennis match of insults. But. Come on.
You cuck boy?
No.
You cuck boy matching your drink with your shirt, dude?
Yes, nice. Where's your coffee?
We're here, bro.
Mm-hmm.
All right, dude. So what's up, man?
Okay. Great podcast. Never met him. Jesus Christ, the vibes are fucking awful, aren't they?
What's up, fellas? You were, how's Austin?
We
Did I
just
miss
said
all
He
this?
said it's amazing. No, but he not really. We talked about it off camera. He
It'd
said
be
it was
funny
amazing.
if he came back.
They talked about it off camera. I like how they're both talking for ERIK and not letting him say what he wants to say. And he obviously doesn't want to say it because he doesn't want to make them feel bad. What a weird little vibe that's going on.
I was like, oh,
No.
horrible.
No, he said it was great.
Everyone said
Well,
it's
you know
great.
it's not
Yeah.
horrible.
No, of course not.
Brendan's trying to overcompensate and act like he's cool.
amazing. Just even the green room alone is just amazing.
It was a vibe. Was there a hang?
No,
You haven't been there yet.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, right.
No, I need to get out there.
Exactly, Carla. Got enough beverages. He's got this shake thing, energy drink, 2 waters for Crystalia, and this, what's your thing called? A cold brew. Somebody on the Reddit was saying that how they think Brendan was on Addies on this. He was really jittery and excitable and shit, and just ranting and stuff, rambling. For guys and girls out there who have taken Adderall, never taken, so I don't know what to look for. Do you think Brendan's on Addies on here in this show?
No, they got these two TVs for the 2 different rooms.
Uh-huh.
The lights are in there, so when the light comes on, you can change the sound for the 2 different TVs, whichever room you want to listen to in the green room. There's a Bluetooth where somebody can have music in the green room from their phone.
Yeah.
They really thought this out.
Yeah.
Right. Well, of course he's a comedian.
Well, the
Rogan
attention to
myth, you know?
detail
Yeah.
in the places, like the art on the wall.
And the bar from The Shining, the whole setup from The Shining.
It's called the Miss Mitzi's bar.
That's so cool.
What do you
man.
mean from The Shining?
From the movie The Shining?
They
Jack
literally did it
Nicholson?
like that?
He took the
Inspired?
exact copy from that.
That's funny.
That's what took so long to build, to be honest.
But why The Shining? He just likes the way that looks?
I didn't know he was so balls deep in The Shining, I guess.
That's
it's
weird.
a classic movie.
Yeah, no, it's a great bar and a movie, and the movie's great.
Yeah.
Just funny
yeah.
to do that to a comedy club. But
Look at how they're taking the piss now. They're trying not to give the guy props. These guys, man. Oh my god, it must hurt because clearly they're both as funny, but I don't know.
yeah, it's a bar. I mean, the place looks amazing. I saw the drone footage, but
People love it.
Did you
There's
see all the boys?
5 sold out shows.
Yeah.
Did you see all the boys there? I heard you crushed it, by the way.
No,
For whatever reason, DM and text me when you crush. I'm like, yeah. All right, I'm not there.
Did you do shows
Weird ownership thing as well, by the way, doing this. I don't know why he keeps mentioning that.
with people? There were your shows, right?
Yeah, this is my show.
On the weekend?
Yeah.
And
So I did 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday, and a show Sunday, and then I did Kill Tony on Monday.
Did anybody pop on your shows or no?
No.
Oh, cool.
No,
So
So who opened?
This kid, Lucas McCreary, funny, skinny, funny dude.
I'm surprised you
And then
didn't-
David Lucas.
Oh, I was gonna say I'm surprised you didn't use our boy David.
for sure.
Our boy. I love how he's taking ownership of David Lucas' success when David Lucas has been on Kill Tony, crushing it for a while, doing his own thing also. The only association that he has with him is like on the road and shit. But he's trying to act like he took responsibility. Like, honestly, it's so gross.
Killer.
Well, there's a thing too. Is like I think Rogan wants people to use his in-house people.
Yeah, not just bring in.
Yeah, he's
randos.
trying. Yeah.
Well, why wouldn't you use them? They're great. right?
No, but I
Yeah.
mean, you might have people you want to.
Yeah,
bring.
true.
That's
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
get,
saying.
I get.
But
yeah.
he's like trying to like build
I see.
something in the community.
Ah, okay. So when he gives you a weekender, you have to use the people that he has on deck, or he recommends you people, or he just puts people there. That makes sense, though. To be fair, that makes sense, because if you're doing an all weekender and your headline is set, you're kind of going in to see Eric Griffin anyway. So him bringing his own people doesn't make sense. They might also have people that are already there and comfortable with the space and are legit funny anyway, because the main attraction is Eric anyway. And also it gives the comics opportunity, they're coming up, a chance to kind of build and grow and learn. That's actually a good idea, to be fair. I'm sure there are comedians that don't like that. I'm sure they are. There are some comedians that think, no, I trust my guys better, or they're under, or they kind of think my guys kind of what's that thing called? My guys know how to prep for me. Like, they kind of build it up, right? I'm sure there are some comics that don't like it. They can be like, no, I'd rather have my own guys, because I feel like when my guys perform, I know what their comedy is like. I know what kind of room I'm going to walk into, because they prime it or they prep it in a certain way, blah, blah, blah. If that makes sense, I'm pretty sure. But I like Rogan's idea. I think that's a really cool idea, to be fair. I'd love that even in nightclubs. It'd be sick if that happened in nightclubs, because that's legitimately how you build up residencies. That's how it used to be in the past. In the past, nightclubs would have resident DJs, and resident DJs were basically like past comics, where you basically play there week in, week out. And then sometimes you'll have your own night that you do during the week, but then on the weekends, they'll invite a big DJ to come and play. And usually the big DJ might have their own DJs they want to play with them, but they'll say, nah, you have to use our DJs. And they'll kind of quote unquote warm up for the big person to play. Then when the big person plays their main peak hour slot, the residents then take over afterwards. So you have an opportunity to kind of have resident DJs play in front of an audience, play in front of an audience maybe bigger than they can only attract themselves. Maybe have the opportunity to gain new fans, and it kind of gives up the DJ too an opportunity to walk into a room that's hot and ready to go when they play their peak set. But nowadays, because of money and shit, and maybe clubs aren't as full as before, the clubs would rather give the headline DJ the opportunity to fill the entire lineup with their people or heavy hitters in general, and then have people, so you don't have any residents. You have either really big DJs playing opening sets, or you get them to bring their own people.
Yeah, but it's like, all the show, while my show was sold out, the other room was sold out too. So people are really into.
It's popping there, huh?
Yeah.
Well, it's I mean,
it's new, it's fresh, it's the new thing.
Why does he keep undermining it with a new thing too? It's gonna be the number one club for a very long time. It's not because it's new and it's fresh, it's because it's the best, and because Rogan's legit. And he's got his reps, he's got his contacts, he's popular and stuff, but he's going to get guests down there that probably no other club can get.
And here's this guy that is like this influential guy.
Yeah.
And he built this, playhouse that, he's not concerned about making money. He's concerned about building a good reputation.
Doing it right. Taking care of the comics. Like the amount he pays those comics is insane.
Yeah, so it's like.
Look at him. He wants to gossip about the money. Already. He's looking at Chris. Chris is fucking so pissed off. Chris, I think, is more pissed off that he has to do this, and this is where his life is. Even though he deserves it. If what they're saying is true about Chris D'Elia in these documentaries, he deserves this and more. He should be happy he has a career still. A career, as Brennan would say. He should be happy he has one. But, these guys, they feel like they can do no wrong, so he probably thinks he's entitled to more. But I feel like Chris is more pissed off that he's having to do this. He has to do this podcast to pay his bills, to look after his kids, to look after his wife. Like, this is a necessary part of his, money making and ability to look after himself and his family. And at one point he was up there, and now he's all the way down here, figuratively. Of course, it's his own fault, but I think this is why he's more pissed off. And Brendan here trying to act unbothered and talk about the money and gossip and all that stuff. And he's like, shut the fuck up, please.
He's like,
really?
And he's just like, he has a spot. I mean, I get it. Maybe he'll expand and go to like different cities.
I
Which
doubt
would be
it.
great.
I mean, maybe.
You see how, do you notice something, by the way? In times gone by, Brendan would have chimed in a lot more with like, yeah, I was just texting with Rogan now. I was just talking to him. I talk on the phone to him every day. Remember that period? This is why I believe Again, this is just a theory. I have no evidence, no information, nothing. I'm a fucking donut speaking into a fucking iPhone, into a fucking, you know, decent mic, but with shitty settings and stuff in front of my bookcase. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I have a feeling that Brendan and Joe Rogan aren't as close as they once were. And I feel like it started from that bald guy, that slanging dick comment that he made ages ago. I think since then, the relationship has never really recovered. And then, of course, things have transpired since then. The Annie Lederman drug walk, Brendan trying to fuck KHALYLA behind Bobby Lee's back, allegedly, him using Joe Rogan's name to kind of bully Bobby Lee on the phone. I legitimately think all those things added to the rift and to the gap. And obviously, if you believe BGL, Rogan got on the phone to Brendan and basically berated him for using his name, for getting involved in the drama. I have a theory that Brendan has maybe asked personally Rogan if he can go and perform at the club, and he's told him, no, you're not funny enough. So I think all those things have kind of led to it. So I think they're not as close anymore. This is why you don't hear Brendan in this instance chiming in saying, yeah, I was just on the phone to Rogan. I just text him. We speak every day. You always had to flex that. But he's not saying that this time around. He's just commenting like normal. But he's reserving judgment, talking in, you know, generalities. Oh my god, my words can't say it properly. You know what I'm saying too. It is.
Well, I was thinking about him today. It's like if you had that much.
I was thinking about him today. See, he didn't say I was talking today. Say I was thinking about him. Peep game.
And he's doing exactly. It's like the scene here crashed, right? And the hangout is done. It's not here very much anymore.
I don't like that comment. Let's rewind it again. I don't like that comment.
It's like the scene here crashed, right? And the hangout is done. It's not here very much anymore. And he was like,
I don't like that comment because he's trying to insinuate that the scene crashed because of cancel culture. That's what he basically keeps saying. Remember he went on that podcast and said, oh, they got Chris Lee and Bryan Callen got cancelled for bullshit reasons. No, they didn't. Callen got accused of rape, or Chris Lee got accused first of being a diddler. Of, you know, it was an underage type of thing, first of all, which it wasn't really underage, but basically being a creep. And then obviously all the cultish stuff and all the abuse stuff, mental abuse and the cheating, all that malarkey. And then Bryan Callen got accused of rape. Neither of these guys have offered up a strong defense against what they were accused of. So if everything got taken away from them because they couldn't defend themselves and because no one believed them if they even did defend themselves, then it just is what it is. It wasn't like they got cancelled for something egregious or something that didn't really happen. And then the scene that he's saying that died, that was a toxic scene. That's what kind of allowed those guys to get away with what they could get away with at the time. And then Joe moved and didn't want to repeat, clearly, the scene from LA and wanted to start something new, and he cut all those toxic guys off. That's why they're not over there. So the scene didn't crash. What he's basically saying is that he's lost the protection of his guide, his mentor, his flipping Cody, you know what I mean? The guy that brought him in, like Joe. Joe basically got him, because he knew Joe, he got a chance to perform at the Comedy Store. Because he wouldn't have been before, because he wasn't passed, so he wasn't funny enough. But now that Joe Rogan's left, he's not protection anymore. He's literally on his own, holding the fort down allegedly, and things aren't sweet anymore, especially with Bryan Callen's accusations and his relationship with Chris. I'm sure that's left a stink on him. Maybe some clubs don't maybe fuck with him as much as before. Maybe certain people won't come on the podcast because of his association with Chris and Bryan. So things have changed, you know, for the worse probably, day to day. But it's not because the scene crashed and shit. No, it's because all the good guys left. All the good murderers, quote unquote, left, and there was nothing else. I mean,
it's like, cool. I'm gonna go do it. I miss those days. I'm gonna go build my own.
Yeah,
that's it. If I had his mind, that's exactly what I do. Oh, I'm missing that. I'm gonna do this.
Can you imagine if Brendan opened his own comedy club? That would be a very Brendan Shaw thing to do. You're not funny, so let me open up a comedy club so I can perform there. So I'm always booked. And I always sell out.
You know what I'm saying? Like nobody else can do that.
Yeah.
Chris D'Elia is so pissed off. He's like, is this my life? Yeah, this is what happens, mate. When you start texting, you know, girls in high school, unfortunately, this is one of the things that may happen. You know, the risk v reward thing is crazy because on one side, the rewards are whatever the rewards are if you're into it. But the risk involved are that you get excommunicated from the scene. You kind of become the, you know, the name no one wants to mention, no one wants to stand next to. Someone even said in my comments, remember I made a comment about Bryan Callen. He said, remember the comment Bryan Callen said about he was going to the Mothership, and then he went to Austin to do the Minds Festival thing, came back but never said anything about Joe Rogan's club. And somebody in my comment said, oh no, Bryan Callen was there. Someone said Bryan Callen did perform at the Mothership, but I guess Joe told him he wasn't allowed to post about it. So he secretly performed, he was there. Maybe the Instagram account didn't record him or something. It's strange, but someone said he was actually there. Imagine that. You have to, if you perform there, you're just not allowed to post about it or talk about it. I'd rather not perform.
It's definitely
pretty cool.
It's definitely. Look, man.
Listen, I can't deal with your nonsense today.
Yeah.
It's fresh off a plane.
I'm fresh off a plane.
Fresh off Spirit Airlines.
You know what I mean? And so I'm just kind of like,
got that
you
fresh
had
off-
enough.
Chris is definitely sad.
Keep this moving.
Yeah. He's got that fresh off the plane nasal voice.
Yeah. I had my
Yeah, Chris wanted to change the subject there. It makes it bums him out here about the Comedy Store.
my allergies were kicking up today.
Oh, they're popping right
Something
now.
about like, and then Austin was just. And they had
Chris is so bummed. Look at Chris.
Yeah.
It's like, you know,
slight flex.
It's so fun.
No, it's them. You know?
So was it? So what else did you do besides the shows there in Austin?
Just nothing. I play video games in my room.
No barbecue, nothing.
Oh yeah, I went
Oh,
down
yeah.
and got some barbecue.
From
David
where?
Lucas?
Terry Black's.
No, I went to this. No, I didn't. We didn't do it. I didn't even see
David
Rogan.
Lucas will be like, "Oh, let's go get lunch." He said when I was in Austin last time I was in Austin, I was playing at theater.
Yeah.
He was like, "Let's go get lunch," and I was like, "Okay, where?" And he sent me this link to this place that like you only go to dinner there. Like it was the most beautiful place. And I'm like, "Bro, let's just order at a counter," you know?
Yeah.
So we ended up going to this bullshit place that was actually good, but
David knows
yeah,
his shit
yeah,
when
he
he
knows
goes
his
to
shit. Yeah, he knows his shit. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but downtown. I mean, downtown Austin would be. It would be. If it wasn't for the homeless shelter that's down there.
Oh, really?
And the zombies that just walk.
Is it that
around.
bad? Really?
Yeah,
It's
it's
worse
terrible.
than here.
It is?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Not now as far as Skid Row. Now I'm saying worse than here, like around Hollywood,
Yeah.
like around the Comedy Store. It's not bad.
I was
Around,
walking
off 6th Street, like
Yeah,
where
okay.
off
Gotcha.
that 6th Street.
Yeah.
I watch World Star Hip Hop every morning.
Got you.
There's
It's
always a
weird.
fighter
You know,
shooting.
it's
and bums out.
weird that like.
When he does that inflection,
And
cringe.
what we do here is we have this sort of like hear no evil, see no evil, say no evil situation about the homeless. So as long as we push them away and they're like
Out of sight, out of mind.
out of sight, out of mind. But in Austin, like right there, like all the stuff's going on,
Yeah.
and they just there sleeping on the sidewalk.
Part of the
stuff like that.
community.
I got you.
It's
Got
part
you.
of exactly. It's
Yeah,
part of the
it's
community.
part of the-
It's like a Portland thing, kind of.
Yeah,
Not good.
Chris is like fidgeting. He's moving around all over the place. Like that comedy Mothership conversations really fucks with his soul, his spirit, and his psyche. He is not happy in the slightest, man. He's like, fuck, I have to do this shitty fucking podcast. I can't perform at the comedy Mothership. I'm fucking excommunicated from anybody. I'm not going to be on Rogan anytime soon. And I have to do this to pay for my fucking G-Wagon, to pay for my trainers, to pay for my, he's got a baby on the way, or he's already maybe had one, so he's got two. Like, shit. He's got like an expensive dog also. That dog looks very expensive. Oh, what a life. What a life.
But what are we supposed to do? I don't know.
Well,
what
yeah.
to do.
What are you supposed to do? I mean,
What are you supposed to do?
Well, you leave California and vote the same way. That's what you get.
You mean in Austin?
Yeah.
Did they vote the same way?
Yeah.
Well, Austin, but not
Austin's
Texas.
super liberal. No, not
Yeah,
Texas.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
don't get twisted. No,
but
no.
Texas, you think Texas is not going to change just because of Austin?
No.
I don't know. Maybe in fucking.
Why would you ask Brendan that? What does he know?
Austin's always been liberal. That's what people forget.
That's what
It's
I'm
just
saying.
way more now.
Yeah.
Awkward silence. This podcast is awful, man. Who listens to this stuff? Like, imagine being a King of the Sting fan with Fear of War and listens to this stuff. This is like terrible. And it's not none of their faults. It's just that none of them want to be there. They're all there for the money. Eric isn't really friends with Brendan, so he's there for the money. Brendan wants to be Chris D'Elia's best friend. Brendan would love it if Chris D'Elia saw him how they used to be with Brendan would love to be Chris D'Elia's Bryan Callen. That's what he wants. He wants to be Chris D'Elia's new Bryan Callen. But I don't think Chris D'Elia wants to have Brendan like that as a friend. Brendan kind of forced his way into being one of Chris's close friends by always being the one around him. But Chris wants to be up there. You know what I mean, he wants to be with the Hollywood guys. He wants to be, you know what I mean, he was with Eminem and shit. Eminem co-signs. That's what he wants to be in. He wants to be what Andrew Santino's doing. That's what Chris D'Elia wants. Chris D'Elia wants to do what Andrew Santino's does. Andrew Santino knows Jasper, Taco from Odd Future. He hangs around with all those cool LA guys. He's in that Little Dicky series, right? He's part of like the cool young kind of LA circuit guys. He does serious roles, does some comedic roles. I think wasn't Andrew Santino in fucking wasn't he on that show? What's that show? Comedy show is called? You know, I forgot what I'm talking about here. But anyway, I know what I'm talking about. I think in general, Eric, obviously, Chris sees himself in that way. Or if he doesn't, he sees himself more as like an actor, comedic actor, a Hollywood actor. Before he got cancelled, he was trying to be in fucking superhero. He wanted to be an action movie star. That's why he was working out so much and shit. So there's probably roles in the pipeline that he could kind of do. Now look at what he's doing. Maybe he had a potential to do like an Amazon series where he played like a detective or something, like a thriller where he plays like, you know, legit. Like he probably had those things in the works, and then he got replaced in that zombie movie by Tig Notaro, and that's been over since that. But that's the face of a man that's like just realizing now just how far his star has fallen. Like, fuck, this is my life now. Like, this is my life.
Well, let's move to what?
That doesn't even make any. Isn't that kind of weird though? That if some place is voting liberal,
okay, no politics talks with him, but yeah, you get it. You guys get what I mean. You guys get what I mean. Man, I've been going for ages, haven't I? Fucking hell. Okay, cool. I'm gonna wrap things up, I think, here a bit. Let me just double check if I missed anything. Let me see here. Actually, let's check out the comedy Mothership. Let's see what's going on over there. The Instagram. Let's see what the vibe is over there. By the way, what's happening with BGO? I don't follow him or anything. I don't know what's happening, but it's been quiet on BGO front. I'm happy about it, to be honest. But I haven't seen BGO anywhere. What's the deal with BGO? Has he kind of disappeared? Is he alive? Like, what's the deal with BGO? Do people know in things? If you do, let me know in the chat. What's happening with BGO? Is he alive? Is he dead? Because he's kind of disappeared out of the blue. He's completely gone. Oh, what the fuck is this? Someone posted a video on the comedy Mothership. What's this? Official. Oh, that's Roseanne Barr. Okay, cool. What's she doing? Joe's cool. He's even letting the comedians smoke fucking cigarettes indoors also. That's awesome. He must have a really cool, he must have a really good extraction system in there. Okay. Take the music off because I don't want to get copyright striked. But that's the Roseanne Barr moving around to disco music, I guess, doing her thing. Okay, fair play. She's having a good time. That's quite funny, to be fair. I'm not going to lie. She was kind of nimble for a woman her age, to be fair, innit? No? Or am I gassing the thing up? She was kind of nimble, innit? She's really throwing that shit back, innit? She's throwing that thing back, innit? Look, she's throwing that thing back. What are we saying? Yeah, she gets it. Yeah, exactly, Koila. She fucks. She looks fucking cool. Let's not lie. Like, she looks fucking cool. Roseanne Barr looks effortlessly cool, man. Fuck. Hell yeah. Look at her. Cigarette in hand. Just vibing. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Big up Roseanne Barr. Legend. Big up her. Let's move on here. What else we got there? Was it? Okay, pictures of Roseanne and what's his face? Ron White here performing. That looks really cool in black and white, actually. Look at that smile. Look at that smile. Joe Rogan's Comedy Club is doing wonders for everybody's mental health, I'm assuming also. That's pretty cool to see here. Ron White there with the hair. David Lucas chilling. Sorry, what's that guy's name again? I keep forgetting. Ian Edwards, pick up him. Derek Posen again, pick up him. Hassan guy, I don't know who this is. Who's this? Scuba Steve, I don't know who that is. Jeffrey Burner. So it's cool, man. He's featuring a lot of the people on there, also getting them some looks. Let's see what's happening in the stories at Comedy Mothership. Tony Hinchcliffe introducing Derek Poston. Let's see the next story here. More pictures on the inside. David Lucas closing out. George Comedy, Tony Hinchcliffe, Hassan Minaj. Okay, cool. Nice and full and busy. The crew. Oh, they got crew t-shirts. Nice. In the back there, chilling. Is that a Comedy Mothership hat? I want one if that's a hat. Oh, I like the hat. Maybe I can't wear it because it's a 5-panel, kind of small and tight. Tristan, I don't know. This people are. Who's this? Ian Edwards. That was Kimari person. I don't know who that is either. But they get booked there a lot. And again, David Lucas. Yeah, so popping. The locals are the locals. I'm assuming all that crew of people will probably end up getting past there soon enough. I'm assuming when they do and end up doing past things. I wonder if Rogan will do that. Maybe Rogan will do something different. Maybe it won't be about being passed and stuff. Maybe you do something else. I'm not too sure. But it looks like a lot of those guys who perform there on a weekly basis are probably going to end up getting passed or something. But yeah. Let's see what happens, innit? Let's see what happens. Anyways, that has been the Random Show episode number 108. 108 of the Random Show has concluded. I thank you all, lovely people, for watching. It's now 5 a.m. here in the UK and the light is pouring through my window. So I'm going to head off and get some sleep and obviously attack the day tomorrow with what the stuff I need to do. But thank you so much, all of you guys who have tuned in and listened to me for 3.5 hours. I appreciate you all. It's been an absolute pleasure to share this time with you and go over the stuff that we need to go over. There's more stuff I'm probably going to miss that I haven't paid attention to. I'll probably have to do another stream and catch up with everyone's favorite channel, T5K, because they do a good roundup of like jacking all the shit from the subreddit and it onto the YouTube. So if I need to get an update quickly in what's going on, I'll check there. So if I miss anything, then I'll definitely double check the T5K channel and I'll probably do another stream and kind of update on that stuff. But for now, thank you so much everybody that tuned in. Appreciate you all. Appreciate everybody. Josie Masters, I see there. Jared Mederick, big up. Austin Casey, big up. Uche, big up, of course, as usual. Big up MKCRVOJ, Crash 1984. Big up Dave H here. Who else I'm seeing down up on the list? A Story to Tell was here earlier. Tricia G, Hando Clarison. Who else is here? John Valdez, Stanis, Stephen Dirty, sorry, Eddie D. Way too many names to mention, man. Appreciate every single one of you. Appreciate you all. So please make sure that you yeah, Zach, brush your teeth. Yes, I will be. Yeah, I will be. Good tip actually. Thank you, Hando. I definitely will be brushing my teeth because yeah, there's a lot of salt and pepper chicken wings debris on them. But yeah, big up everybody. Appreciate you all. Thank you for tuning in. It's been a pleasure, never a chore, and I'll see all you guys again very soon. Take care, be safe. Appreciate you all. Take care. Peace.